Amazing! Amazing!
stand up strong, think the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am JLP Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show. Thank you all for being with me. I do appreciate it. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. Amazing. My biblical question for this week, and believe you me, it is a doozy. It's a doozy. Are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? That is the biblical question for this week. Are emotions necessary? Very good question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. Amazing. And if you're out and about and whatever you may be doing, no matter what, you might be down in Mississippi trying to steal some white people's car, hijack their car while they're trying to leave and go back home from their family, wherever they're going. And you throw their children out of the car and everything. You might be snatching and grabbing or whatever. You could be listening to the show while you're doing what you're doing anywhere in the world by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 605-615-4131. That's 605-615-4131. And you can podcast the shows as well. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? It is, follow us on social media. I don't mention that a lot. Follow, like, ring the bell, subscribe, and whatever. On social media. I do appreciate it. It is Friday again. Already. Remember we just had a Friday? It's Friday again. And for the new listeners who might not be aware, and by the way, my experts are coming in. I have not discussed the verdict trial that happened there in New York with the Great White Hope because I want you to hear from my experts and I want to hear what they thought about it without discussing before we go on the air, just to hear off the cuff what they thought about it. And we're going to get to all of your calls, too, at 888 7753 773 Jesse. So my experts are coming in so we can discuss this. But it is Friday, and for those that don't know, the new listeners, new callers, Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Amazing. I've not seen that. That's amazing. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing, Jesse. So I'm waiting for my other expert before we get rolling here. In the meantime, there's a line open. If somebody wanted to jump in at 888-7753-773. While my other experts are coming, because I realize they're busy, so they'll be here in a minute. Let me go to Josh out of Georgia while I'm waiting. Josh, welcome to the show, Georgia. Oh, my mind. You're on the air, Josh.
Hey, what's going on, Jesse?
All is well.
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that that question of what's easier to accept, like calling yourself a sinner versus
which is easier for you to accept. That's the way I put it, right, Original? Yeah. Which is easier for you to accept. You are a sinner, or all your sins been wiped away?
Lately, it seems like it's easier for me to call myself a sinner or to accept that I'm a sinner. But here's the reason why.
When you said lately, that mean that you just started that?
I mean, I don't know. Well, you know what? I don't call myself a sinner.
So
but
let me ask the question again.
Okay.
Which is easier for you, Josh, to accept that you are a sinner or that all your sins have been wiped away?
Okay. It seems easier to accept that I'm a sinner.
Which is easier for you to accept, Josh, that you are a sinner or all your sins have been wiped away?
Okay, man, I'm hearing the question different now. I accept that the sins have been washed away.
Which is easier for you to accept, Josh, that you are a sinner or all of your sins have been wiped away?
That all my sins have been washed away.
So it's easier for you to accept that?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because sin is not the act. Sin is not what everybody thinks it is. Like, up until like a couple months ago, I thought sin was like the act, the breaking the 10 Commandments or the 7 deadly sins. But sin is the devil. Sin is the spirit that made a home in me. So that's why everybody's confused about it, because everybody thinks sin is the act. But sin is just the spirit that made a home in everybody.
Are you referring to yourself?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I thought, like, everyone, when I communicate with people about sin, everyone is talking about, like, the act of breaking the 10 Commandments or one of the 7 deadly sins. But that's
What's a
not what
7 deadly
is.
sin?
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about no 7 deadly sin. What?
He's Catholic.
He's what?
Catholic.
I can't
I'm
hear
not Catholic.
Well, where'd you get the 7
but
deadly
yeah,
sins
that is
thing?
from Catholic.
Yeah,
that is from Catholic.
But
people.
where you get this idea of 7 deadly sins?
That's what everybody. That's what I've always thought.
Where'd you
The
get it
word-
from?
The definition of sin.
Where did you get 7 deadly sins from?
I guess society.
What are they?
But
Like
are you
gluttony.
Catholic?
No, I'm not.
But you ain't no Catholic. How you get that from society?
You know what? Probably media and just hearing other people talk about it, watching movies.
Oh. And what are the 7 deadly sins?
Like gluttony, lust, sloth. You know.
Like
but
coleslaw?
Sloth.
Huh?
No, they said one is like sloth, like being lazy.
Like coleslaw? What's sloth?
Sloth.
Like
Sloth.
a cloth?
A sloth is an animal that's slow and lazy.
Oh.
And we're some of us are slothful.
Oh, like laziness.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
But you know,
And
it
what
could
are
be
the
the 10
other
Commandments,
7?
though.
I looked them up on the
I
internet.
don't even know them,
me
man.
too.
I just know that's what people. That's what I always thought of when I thought of what sin is.
You don't even know what the 7 deadly sins are, but yet you put them out there like that?
I could look them up, but yeah, I don't have them all memorized. I know like lust, greed, sloth.
And why you call you just said those 3?
Right.
Can you go past 3?
Murder, I think, is one.
No.
I think murder is one.
No, murder's not one.
It's not okay. No, yeah, that's all. Those are the only 3 I know. I have to Google it. You know, I've been doing my Googles like Nick says.
Oh, what a mess!
Yeah.
And so
But yeah, it's
because
the
I got
definition
it.
of it.
What?
Okay, yeah. It's the definition that throws me off on that question. Because sin is just another name for the devil. It's not.
And so
that.
I got to get to my X-ray.
Yeah.
So let me ask:
Okay.
Which is easier for Josh from Georgia to accept? You are a sinner, or all your sins have been wiped away?
All of my sins have been washed away.
Okay. Why are you laughing?
Because it's when I think of sin, the question could be rephrased to interpret it to say that all the devil in me has been defeated. That's what all my sins have been washed away means. It's the same thing as saying the devil has been defeated.
And how do
That
you
made a
know
whole
for sure all your sins have been wiped away?
I know it without knowing how I know.
And that's the same. That's the same way you know about the 7 deadly sins.
No, you can Google the 7 deadly sins. That's something I could Google, but this thing is like, yeah, I have me and Joel yesterday were talking about intuition.
Oh Lord.
Something in me knows. I know it without knowing how I know. Something give it to me.
How about
Gave it to me.
Joel and I?
Oh, yeah, I'm not grammatically correct.
I know what you mean. But it's Joel and I, not me and Joel.
Yeah.
You got the wrong person in the room right now to be saying that way.
Oh.
Hake is here.
Yeah, grammar. Grammar is another little tool of the devil. It's a tool of the devil.
It's the 8th deadly sin.
It's the 8th deadly sin, yeah.
Amazing. All right, Josh, thanks for responding to that. It's a very interesting question. And the responses I've been getting from people has been very interesting.
Yeah, it really made me think a lot. So I appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Call me again.
Okay, we'll do, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Amazing. So my experts are here, and I want to hear their response to yesterday's guilty trial of the great white hope, Donald Trump. I guess everybody in the world know about it today. And so to my way over there, my far left, my far right, is Hake of the Hake Report, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific time.
That's your show.
I mean, not 6 to 9. From 9 to 11 Pacific time. TheHakeReport.com. And an expert here on the show, the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. And next to him is JLP Fri, the TV, he black. At 11 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Thursday. And one of the experts here. And from him is, could you guys switch over for a minute? Because this is for that video right there.
The
Yeah.
Trump video?
Right?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. And way over there is the anchor baby, the American anchor baby at, and I'm going to get your opinion too on this, Hassan. The American anchor baby at 12 noon, Monday through Friday, and then Monday through Thursday, and on Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The American anchor baby and an expert here on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. So,
Oh, the JLP network. Oh, yeah. Anyway, it just dawned on me what you were talking about. Well,
you
go
told
ahead.
me this.
Oops.
No wonder me and Joel talked about this. I want to play for those who might not be aware, the first soundbite from CNN. Donald Trump found guilty of all 34 charges.
History made. Donald Trump.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Put us on back.
I'm telling you.
Bring us on back.
Oh, my bad.
Wow.
Donald Trump found guilty on all 34 charges in hush money trial. Watch this from CNN.
Becoming the first former president in American history to be criminally convicted. New York City, where he built his fortune. His name embossed on countless buildings. The 12 New Yorkers on the jury finding Trump guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records in the Stormy Daniels hush money case. Prosecutors proving that Trump falsified checks, invoices, and business records to conceal a $130,000 payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels to keep the story from voters just days before the 2016 election. Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg, who brought the 34 charges against Trump, speaking out after the historic verdict.
The 12 everyday jurors vowed to make a decision based on the evidence and the law, and the evidence and the law alone. And while this defendant may be unlike any other in American history, we arrived at this trial and ultimately today at this verdict in the same manner as every other case that comes through the courtroom doors, by following the facts and the law and doing so without fear or favor.
Amazing. That was Alvin Bragg, I think his name is?
Bragg.
Bragg. He's the so-called DA down in Manhattan, I guess, New York, wherever that is. And so according to CNN, Donald Trump's defense lawyers says the former president intends to appeal his guilty verdict. And here are some pictures from the Manhattan Appeal Court. When I saw this, I'm like, what the? So here are pictures from the Manhattan Appeal Court. Those are the judges. Donald Trump, you might well go to jail now.
Hang it up.
You ain't got a chair with those black.
All black females.
Oh, God.
One of
All
them's like-
black female on the Manhattan Appeals Court.
One looks Catholic.
Yeah. I think those are ashes on her head.
Are you sure?
And I'm not being racist. Like, I'm not saying she needs lotion. I'm talking about the ashes for the Catholics and stuff.
You're racist.
No.
Black people don't need lotion.
You can't say that about me on YouTube on the air.
Oh, he's not racist. He mean like ashy like this.
Like dry skin.
Yeah, dry skin. I'll get to that too in my excerpt. And back in February 2024, New York Law Journal, this is from New York Law Journal, Manhattan Appeal Court seat first all African-American panel.
Yeah, that picture of those women you just saw, they were history makers, as they say.
If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. Come, Lord, come by here, come now. And a couple other things I want to show you about this before I hear from the panel is that some people, you know, I've said over and over and over again, woe unto the man or woman who take joy in another human being's pain. You have no idea what you're bringing upon yourself. Because what you do to others, you're doing to yourself anyway, but we're definitely not supposed to rejoice in another one's suffering. That's probably one of those deadly sins that Josh was talking about. So some people can't hide their excitement about the news. Watch this from MSNBC and CNN.
And here's what I discovered. Yes. That in the most serious FBR cases, a sentence of imprisonment is routinely imposed. This is the most serious falsifying business records case in the history of the state of New York.
You know, Donald Trump built a legend in the state of New York and in the city of New York. You know, his whole dream was to be respected in Manhattan, and it was in Manhattan where he was brought low. I think there's something interesting and poetic about that. But also there's a loneliness to Donald Trump. We were chatting about it in the break. He faced probably his greatest humiliation today without his family. I'm not sure if any of them were in the courthouse when he was found guilty. And as he's hearing, I'm thinking 34 counts, he's hearing them over and over, and they were so dramatic for us to hear. He heard those by himself. He might be the loneliest man in the world.
Amazing.
Just making
Oh, she feels bad for him. Right?
What?
Right.
She's caring for him, right?
Right.
Here is the great white hope Donald Trump in a comment after the verdict. This is from Truth Social.
Thank you very much. I would say, in listening to the charges from the judge, who's, as you know, very conflicted and corrupt, you have a trial like this where the judge is so conflicted he can't breathe. It's a disgrace. And I mean that. Mother Teresa could not beat those charges, but we'll see. We'll see how we do. It shouldn't be brought, and it certainly could have been brought 7 years ago, not in the middle of a presidential election. It was all done by Joe Biden. This judge contributed to Joe Biden, and far worse than that, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because I have a gag order. It'll be talked about, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. For Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States. He's destroying our country. He's letting millions of people from jails, from prisons, from insane asylums, from mental institutions. And then they have a protest of Robert De Niro yesterday. He's a fool. He's a broken down fool. November 5th is going to be the most important day in the history of our country. We're going to take back our country from these fascists and these thugs. We're going to bring back our nation November 5th. Remember, most important day in the history of our country. In the meantime, this trial is rigged. Thank you.
Was that before or after the trial? Because I've heard that before.
He's done like a bunch of them before he goes in that day.
But was that after the trial?
After the convictions?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That was like before. He gave that talk a while back. I thought we had something where he gave a talk after the conviction.
You're making me check this again, but I'm pretty sure that's after.
Oh, it sounds like when he was saying he can't talk.
This is after. Speaks
This is
after
after?
guilty verdict and hush money trial. This
Okay.
was a disgrace. Here's the transcript of exactly what we just saw.
Okay, good.
Confirmed C-SPAN.
It sounds like something I heard
I'm
him
sweating.
say before. So, and the last thing I want to just say to you that is going on here from our CNN.
Sean's not here, so he's extra on it these days.
Will he face prison? That's uncertain. His sentence is set for July 11th, just days before the Republicans are set to formally nominate him for president. And can he still run for president? The conviction doesn't bar Trump from continuing his campaign and his political career. I don't know, some words are missing. What's that?
Career that has endured everything from impeachments to allegations of sexual abuse.
Oh, okay. Amazing. That's from CNN. So what I want to do, I want to start out with Hake first. Hake, what do you think about the guilty charges and all this whole thing that's happening with the Great White Hope?
Chat. By the way, Chad is saying that was before.
I thought it was before. I've seen it over and over again.
Yeah, I sent Nick another one.
I'm reading this from cspan.org. It says former President Trump speaks after guilty verdict in hush money trial. After guilty verdict. And then I'm reading in this
So maybe
transcript.
they got it wrong. Maybe
Yeah,
the people-
somebody got the raw video mixed up in there. Because I seen that during the trial where they had told him he can't say anything.
Maybe I got the wrong one.
I have.
Oh, James sent something over to Nick.
Well,
I don't know that.
But anyway, what do you think?
See, this was a disgrace, like the clip.
We're going to find that video and play the right one for you, folks. Sorry about that. What do you got to say about this, Hake?
I can't really take it seriously. Like, it doesn't feel like it's this big bad thing.
You wearing his shirt today
I am.
in honor of Donald Trump?
Nice.
Nice shirt, too. Nice color and everything.
Yeah.
Material.
Rebuildingtheman.com/stores.
Rebuildingtheman.com/store.
And then
Go
we're-
ahead.
So I'm like,
And then click rebuildingtheman.com/store.
and then look for one of the J.C. Lee Peterson stores.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
It doesn't seem like a real thing. It seems like a joke of a trial. A lot of people are not taking it seriously. I mean, a lot of people are taking it seriously. They're mad about it. But I just can't be mad about it because it's like Trump is going to be fine. It's just they got their little headline, you know? And it doesn't seem consequential, except that it makes a joke out of the so-called justice system. You know, you see this fat black guy talking about, oh, we prosecuted this without fear or favor. Of course they prosecuted it with favor against Trump.
Yeah.
Because he hates Trump. And he's a Soros DA, Trump pointed out in his little speech afterwards. So I just kind of shrug my shoulders because they've been pretty nakedly trying to go after him with everything ever since really 2015 when he announced. And they've only gotten more and more out of control. And he's stayed cool the whole way. And he's stayed on point in terms of like looking out for the country. If you know what I mean? Like he's talking about what matters, and they're talking about him.
Let me take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to finish up with the experts about this President Trump thing and get to your phone calls and super chat. And I want to be clear, that video was not the video where the president spoke after the conviction. All right, we'll get that. I don't know what happened, but we'll get that for you. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do Be doers of the word. All right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They're using them. And blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. It's Friday. Get it off your chest today. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. There's a line open. You want to jump in there, and we will get to your calls. Brand new episode of first of all, the Hake Report today at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. James Hake is on fire. Very interesting show, too. And then at 12 noon, brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. At 12 noon, had a very interesting discussion with Ed Clay. And he is entrepreneur. This doesn't sound right. This sounds like an old guest. He is an entrepreneur. I'll find out in a minute. MMA fighter. And the host, this is not right.
It is right.
Oh, it is? And the host, the Ed Clay Show. They don't say anything about him being a comedian and all that kind of stuff.
He's not a comedian. Yesterday. That's not the one that's coming out today.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's the right one. My mind is messed up. It's my fault. It's on me. I'm thinking about yesterday. Yeah, we taped a brand new episode of the Fallen State yesterday, and it was so interesting. I'm thinking that's who it is this Friday, but that's not the case. This is the right guy, Ed Clay. Watch this.
Next time on the Fallen State.
What motivated you to become an entrepreneur? What kept you going?
Focusing on giving to others and helping others has been like the driving force.
Did you imagine one day you will own a hospital?
No way. Even when we were going through the tough times, I never thought we were going to fail. There's like no way.
Right on.
People get depressed and those type of things because they focus on themselves. But when you're outward focused and focus on helping other people, a lot of that goes away.
Amazing. Ed, I remember Ed now. It was a it was like a surprising, because I had not heard of Ed before that. And it was a surprising, interesting discussion. I think you're going to like it. Ed Clay is the host of the Ed Clay Show today at 12 noon. And you can support the Fallen State right there by going to thefallenstate.tv/donate or locals.com in the description. And then at 4 p.m., are you going to do your show today, Nick? Because you're so busy.
Yeah.
At 4
Let
p.m.
you know. I'll post up about it.
Oh, okay. The American Anchor Baby, flying high on natural energy given to him by God. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. today. All right? It's going to be interesting. So I want to finish up on this 34 charge, the guilty charge against the Great White Hope. Did I finish with you?
Yeah.
Joel, go ahead.
Nick,
Your mic's not on?
Can't hear him.
Yeah, I think James has said that. What did you say? You said something like. Said something like that. It's a joke.
What'd you say, baby?
That it's a joke.
I went to this black cafe I was traveling down in Alabama, and I had to go through. I forgot the town near Montgomery, and while we were waiting, we ate at this cafe that was run by black people, and this black waiter came over. And so she asked me for my order. I gave it to her. And then she asked a friend of mine for his order. And he gave it to her, but she didn't remember what it was. She like, what you say you want now, baby? What you say you want now, baby?
That's definitely black grandma.
Man, we fell out. It was so funny. What you say you want, baby?
That's what it sounded like when I... Wow.
Anyway, it just reminded me of that. But go ahead.
James has said that it feels like a joke, and I agree. I think it all feels like a silly thing, but I do think that Trump does feel that pressure because they're really trying to tear him down in all ways possible. They're trying to steal his money. They're trying to convict him.
Yeah.
And stuff that we've heard that he's, that they've done in the past with the previous. Well, I disavow. But I think that Trump calls himself a political prisoner, but I think that that's exactly what it is. It reminds me of the times where like they were trying to crucify Jesus and lock him up for whatever the case is, but they really have nothing, but yet they're still winning. And we should just count all joy, though. And I think that that's what Trump's trying to do. I do think it's kind of affecting him a little bit, but I think that he sees the bigger picture is that it's making them stronger. It's making the country stronger if people just endure. And people need to stop hanging the flag upside down in the distress thing. That looks so weak and pathetic. And I think we just need to
Who
keep
hung
the
the
faith.
flag upside down?
All kinds of people are posting across social media.
Right now?
Yeah,
Really?
hanging the flag, celebrities, and they're hanging the flag upside down, like trying to showcase to the world that the country is in distress. But that's basically, to me, looks like you're waving a white flag and say we're pathetic.
Are they for Trump or against?
They're for Trump, but they think that they're just basically what they're trying to say is that the country has gotten so bad and we're just out of control. We need help, type of thing.
And so they hang the flag upside down?
And they flip it upside down. You played a clip of one of the ladies.
The judge that doesn't have control of his wife.
Right. She's hanging the flags upside down, but it makes the people look weak. It makes it seem like we need help. So I'm against that.
And when you say we should count it all joy or something?
Yeah, because
what do you mean by that?
Because through this, whatever happens, that it should be it'll make Trump stronger. How to endure more, how to overcome, but also to the people, what it looks like to be crucified over, for the sake of hate and not real evidence or real things. So, yeah, I think we'll see what happens, but I think he'll get through it.
And when you thought of Count It All Joy, did you think of that song? What doesn't kill you made you stronger. Stand a little taller.
Kelly Clarkson.
Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone.
It's fitting.
When I'm alone.
Baritone.
What do you say, Acre Baby, about the 34
rigged
charge?
Totally rigged. And I'm talking about this trial here, and I'm allowed to say that. We're not talking about anything else. But I'm just saying what Trump said. Totally rigged. And it's rigged because it's totally a political hit job. It's lawfare, as some people call it. It's not about the charges themselves, but it's about going after the man. This could have been brought up a long time ago and all that. About the pressure and all that, I'm not saying he's not feeling it or whatever, but I just can't tell. I wonder if I'd like to know how you could tell, because I can't quite see it personally. I'm not saying he's not feeling it or anything. There's that picture of him with his tie untied. The one picture they say where he shows a little bit of stress, they say, but I don't know how people can tell. I can't really tell. He said even in his in the clip there, he said it's the wrong clip, but he said we'll see. He says we'll see about the case. I guess he was saying it before I was thinking it was after the guilty verdict, but he said it before. But it still fits because that we'll see. I mean, most people look at this, they're like, oh, whatever, it's all rigged. It's like, or they'll be on the other side like he's horrible. But despite it, you might think it's small, maybe it is, but him saying we'll see how we. I feel like he's had that attitude about about everything.
Yeah, wait and see type of attitude.
Wait and see. And to be quick here, what else? Conservatives, they spent so long being like nice, I guess. Like we got to play by the rules. We can't go after enemies or else they'll use it against us. And look where we are now with the justice system, so to speak.
That's a good point.
Rigged. We're the laughing stock of the world. He's got more felonies than Al Capone. It's crazy. I don't know what to say. Oh, you know what? Like this also shows a little bit of guilt on them, don't you think? It shows a little bit of guilt on them because it's like we gotta take him down. We gotta take him down. Sexual allegations, this. Yet the people still love him, and they love to scream, "We're a democracy, right?" Well, here it is. Here's the people saying what they want, that they want Trump, despite all this stuff, and they want to say we gotta take him down. That's a admission of guilt, in my opinion, on the establishment.
Amazing.
Can I add to, like, what Nick said and make a good point is that I realize that the left or the Democrats, whatever you want to call them, they don't play by the rules, right? They don't play by the rules, and this is why this stuff kind of happens. They break all the rules, and then they play dirty and everything. But conservatives play by fake rules. Like, they stop at a boundary of what they will not cross, but it's, like, not real. Like, they're not really, like, willing to overcome those boundaries. And that's why we keep losing, is because we keep being confined by these false rules that don't even exist.
Amazing.
And that's why I think that the left keeps winning, because they're like, I don't care what rules. What do you mean? So we need to go Dark Knight on the left. Batman.
Whatever that is. Did you said, does it look like he's in pain to you?
It seems like it's, and I feel like it's kind of natural but unnatural, but I feel like it is affecting him a little bit because he's doing all that he can, and he's just one man, and they're continuing to throw these blows at him, and I think that he feels it a little bit, in my opinion.
But does he look like he feel it?
A little bit. Like the trials look like they're like he's a little tired, like a little weighed down. And I think it's just because it's a lot going on.
How did you feel when the verdict came in, 34 counts?
I thought it was kind of insane. I didn't think it was going to be that way. I didn't think that he was going to be convicted of all those things. I thought he was going to, break free, and we were going to have this heroic story. But no, again, they kind of got him. But he knew in the clip that we played, he said that they were impossible convictions. So basically saying, there are impossible charges to overcome. So he already knew he wasn't going to overcome it. I didn't know that.
But we didn't play the right thing yet.
But I'm talking about the one before.
Right.
The one that we played, he was saying that these were impossible charges to beat.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And I didn't know that he knew that.
And how did you expect a guilty charge of all 34 counts?
No, I didn't really think about it either way. I wasn't expecting anything. I was kind of thinking, maybe the jury's going to see through some of it.
Right.
But it is New York, bunch of liberals, and juries are just not the same quality that they used to be, nor are judges or prosecutors or whatever.
Whatever happened to I Love New York? I love New York.
Trump does. I do. If I love anybody.
It's like there's nothing there to love anymore.
Only a mother could love him.
Nick, were you surprised at all 34 charges? Guilty charges?
like the day of a little bit, like coming up to it, not really. I was kind of expecting that, cynical, like they're just gonna do everything. But on the day, as the hour by hour play kind of came around, and I'm saying like, oh, the jury's come up with a verdict pretty quickly. I'm thinking they're gonna say not guilty. I heard the news of there was that one juror who gets his news from Truth Social. I'm like, we gotta hold out. There's still a chance.
Was that real?
So that was not even real. It turns out that person, there's something about that that's not entirely true. That he only gets his news from Truth Social. You can look that up. But anyways, when it came down to it, hour by hour, I was like, okay, actually, I don't think they're gonna give him the guilty. So I was a little surprised when it came down.
Were you sad?
No, sad.
How'd you
like
feel?
sad for Trump? Like,
Yeah,
like sad
Trump.
for sad
When
day
you
for
heard-
America, maybe.
When you heard the 34 charge guilty, how'd you feel about it?
I can't say I really felt like much. Like I can't say I felt sad. Maybe for
okay.
America in a sense, for justice itself. And,
I was shocked.
And that kind of stuff.
You were shocked?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, it's done. But I had, because I didn't know that he still had the chance to appeal. I
Right.
thought that, and I also didn't know
Oh.
that Nick was educating me the whole time. He was talking me through it.
If
Because I
we're
didn't-
going to get to all your
Okay,
calls,
baby.
somebody's going to pick up the phone in a minute out there.
Because I didn't know that he could still run as well. So I thought it was like the end. And Nick's like, no,
Oh.
it's not.
Oh, let me tell you, boy, answer the phone.
Oh.
But yeah.
Nick, get the phone. Oh no, he didn't put him on hold.
He's new.
That's for sure.
That one
You dropped them both. Well, I don't know. Who knows what's going on?
Did y'all train him how to answer the phone?
Yeah, I think
Just
he's just
turn
still
on
learning.
auto attendant. He's not turning on auto attendant.
Auto attendant's on.
No, I just turned it on.
Oh, okay.
I just turned it on.
Ah,
I'm in here. I can't do everything.
yeah.
Right.
Auto attendant's on now. You wouldn't usually
But he
walk
has
out when
sense
it's
enough to
on.
turn the audio
When Trump
attendant
was
on
doing it.
before?
Yeah, I don't know if he knew about that one.
Oh.
Or if it sunk in. But
But anyway, sorry, folks.
pardon a strange interlude.
Yeah.
A reporter woman was in the courtroom when all the guilty 34 times thing was read.
Yeah.
And she said that Trump was emotionless the whole time. He was just looking straight.
Nice.
And then when they walked out of the courtroom, when he walked into the courtroom, no, the jurors walked into the courtroom, none of them made eye contact with Trump, even though he was right there.
That's true.
And then when he exited the courtroom, he was head held high, according to her, and looking straight, whereas his lawyers were all looking down at the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, his lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Well, probably all the lawyers. Who knows?
Amazing.
Yep.
Because of time now, I got to rush. But let me ask Joel first here. What do you think about what that black female from
Lord.
what's it, MSNBC?
Yeah, Joy.
Joy.
Yeah.
That
Reid.
is one of the evilest female. I don't know if they make them any worse than that.
You know, it reminded me of, like, it's totally the mama spirit when she said she imposed the loneliness thing on Trump.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like when mama said, like, he's sad because of this and this and that. It's like, you don't know how I'm feeling. You know?
Like his family was around,
Right.
nobody was around.
This is a
so-
lonely time for him.
She
Yeah,
sounds
that's
like
the
she's
thing.
helping or like she cares.
Right, right. But what that's doing is it's all part. It's just an agenda, and I thought it was just insane that she can even how she's even on as an anchor. Period. Because that's just insane.
She's
for
black
one.
female. All she needs to be is black and female.
And
she
liberal.
doesn't need to be qualified
Right.
or anything. She just needs to be black. We got them on the court now, U.S. Supreme Court. You just saw all those dumb black judges,
Lord have
Court
mercy.
of Appeal thing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't
Oh,
know.
you just have to be a black female.
Well, she got up there and they just let her say stuff that doesn't even make sense and irrelevant. You can see the guy, the co-anchor, the guy, he kind of didn't know what to say to it.
He was like, what the?
And he was kind of just agreeing for the sake of agreeing. But that was just insane. Absolutely insane.
What do you think about what Joy, what's her name?
Joy Behar.
Joy Ann Reid.
Joy Reid.
Oh.
Her name ain't Behar. That's the white one. That's the other evil one. What do you think what she said, Nick, about
Joy?
Trump?
Well, she's sitting there like, what are we, like us,
With
the
her
audience,
Trump
how,
hair.
huh?
Sorry.
Sorry, I have a delay in these.
I said with her Trump hair.
Oh, yeah, totally. You become what you hate, I guess. But how are we, the audience, supposed to take that, right? Like, how are we supposed to take that? What are we understanding from this? You're feeling for Trump? Are you feeling bad for him?
Right.
When you obviously,
I doubt if she feel bad for it.
and I'm sure the audience can surmise that much. And so what's left? She's being like totally nasty, like on TV.
Yeah.
I guess that's normal for the public today, but
It is
that's
normal.
totally demonic.
Yeah, amazing. What did you say about that?
She claimed that it was the most humiliating day of Trump's life or something like that.
Yeah.
It was the most humiliating day of New York's life. It wasn't, it was humiliating. They were humiliating themselves trying to humiliate him.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they're gonna appeal this, and it's not over to the fat lady thing.
Right.
Sentencing is July 11th.
Yeah.
So he's not a convicted felon yet, technically.
And what I realize about it, this is evil. This is hell on earth, and this is human nature to treat one another in this manner. And these people love power. They've been in power so-called power for the last 3 years or so, almost 4. And they have caught nothing but trouble in America. And they've been getting, as you said, they've been getting away with it.
Yeah.
Open border, screwing up the economy, putting white men in prison, jail, and whatever they've been wanting to do, they've been doing it. Who want to give up that?
Right.
They want to hold on to that as long as possible.
Good point.
And they know that Donald Trump, when he gets in, if he gets in, that is over for them.
Yeah.
Their little power thing is out the
And
window.
they're holding on to it. And they're willing to go to the depths to keep it from happening.
But isn't it interesting how they're willing to kill another human being
Right.
to get power for themselves?
Yeah.
That's human nature, though. Christ said that all human beings with anger, they have that spirit going on. Isn't that amazing, Anchor Baby?
Amazing.
Oh, man, let me squeeze in Joe from Arizona. I'm sure Jay would like this. Joe from Arizona. Joe, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
My
Joe.
goodness.
Morning.
All right. Hake, actually, Trump is a convicted felon right now, even though he hasn't been sentenced yet.
Technically not.
Technically, yes, he is, Jay. She's technically on parole right now.
I trust Twitter. I don't trust you.
That's fine. You're wrong as usual, but that's okay.
But Joe, he won't be. Are they gonna decide on July 11th?
Yeah, July 11th.
What
What they gonna do? So he's not all that yet.
No, he is, Jesse.
No, he's
You
not.
have to understand the law. That's okay.
He's not, Joe.
No, he is, Jesse.
Hold on,
He's
Joe.
convicted felon.
Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Oh, it's the top of the hour, huh?
Yep.
So let me tell you what we're gonna do. When I come back, we're gonna wind down with the experts on this and take your calls, all right, and super chats. Hake coming in with hate news, not the fake news. I'll be back in a moment. I recommend you get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him, I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, BOND, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Whole lot of mess going on in the world. I think my mic might have been muted. JLP will be right back to your calls and the experts and the real Trump clip, perhaps, right? In the hour two. But first, Hake News, not fake news. It is Friday, May 31st, AD 2024. Hang tight, callers and super chatters. We appreciate you. Trump becomes, according to the far-left female-run outlet The Skim and Commie Nonsense Network, Trump becomes the first former U.S. president to be convicted of a crime. Ooh, scared? Yesterday, a Manhattan jury found our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records. Prosecutors in the New York so-called hush money, truly it was an extortion case. He was the victim of extortion. That trial accused Trump of misclassifying payments, oh dear, to hide an alleged S-word scandal, sex scandal, which may or may not ever even have happened, that could have derailed his 2016 presidential bid. Doubt it. From way back in 2005, supposedly this thing happened. Who knows? The historic verdict, historically stupid, from the 12 jurors came after 2 days of deliberations. Our greatest president, Trump, pleaded not guilty in the case, called the trial a disgrace, and said it was a rigged decision right from day one. Accurate. Trump's sentencing is scheduled for July 11th. That's in about a month and a little bit less than a month and a half, 4 days before the RNC, Republican National Convention, begins. Could face a maximum of 4 years in prison for each felony count, which would likely be served concurrently, whatever that means. Some legal experts say that Trump is a first-time offender of a nonviolent crime, unlikely to serve time, and may instead face home confinement, probation, or supervised release. In the meantime, Trump, our greatest president, likely to appeal his conviction, a process that could stretch beyond the election. So what a mess, huh? The sweeping guilty verdict against our greatest president does not disqualify him from running or holding the Oval Office. He wouldn't be able to pardon himself if reelected, because this is a New York State case, I guess. Trump tries to win back the White House from the black on the inside White House to make it white on the inside again, white as snow washed with the blood of Jesus, as Trump's soul is, right? As he tries to do that, pollsters and campaigns are working to assess the potential political fallout of his supposed conviction, whether adding convicted felon to his resume affects his chances for the better or for the worse. What a mess. No one knows. This is an unprecedented moment in American history. Our greatest president still has a strong grip on the Republican Party, easily swept the primaries this year. Recently, polling found that a guilty verdict wouldn't sway 2/3 of voters, and only 17% said that they would be less likely to vote for Trump. One thing Biden and Trump can agree on is it's up to the voters in November to decide what happens and how much they care about the silly conviction. Republicans quickly railed behind their party's presumptive nominee. On social media, House Speaker Mike Johnson, Republican from Louisiana, called it a weaponization of the justice system. I think a lot of people see through it, right? Said it was pure political exercise, not a legal one. Marjorie Greene, the queen, who should go sit down. She's from Georgia. She posted an upside-down American flag like Joel Friday mentioned. And that was known, supposedly a known symbol of the Stop the Steal movement, upside-down flag. It's a sign of distress, a nation in distress, right? No word on any flags at the Alito residence, by the way, said the ladies at the Skim. Democrats called the verdict justice in action, of course, as if they know what justice is. Crooked Joe Biden's campaign said Trump has always mistakenly believed he would never face consequences for breaking the law. Look in the mirror, Crooked Joe. What a mess, huh? I'm James Hake. Now back to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Hour 2.
Somewhere in the world today, to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. There is one line open. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. And my biblical question, I'm moving fast because I want to finish over the expert, get to the callers and super chats. My biblical question, are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? This is such a deep question. Are emotions necessary? You can listen to the show if you're busy and about anywhere in the world and you're just not able to sit and watch it live. You can podcast it later, of course, but you could be listening while you're doing whatever you're doing, rejoicing at what you think is the destruction of Donald Trump or feeling sad about it. Turning your flags upside down or whatever. I didn't know that until right now. Joel told me about it. But you could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 605-615-4131. On your iPhone or iPad, 605-615-4131. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee, and Hake going to get to those before you leave the studio as well. Go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right, it's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. There's a lot going on today. I see all of your calls. We're going to get to the ones where you're dealing with issues in your life and what's happening with the Great White Hope right now. But anyway, it's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. It is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached because everything you say about black people and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Amazing. Is that a new commercial, Nick?
Yeah. It is.
I can't hear you. Do you want to get back into your seat, or you want me to tell you?
Oh.
That is so powerful.
Yes, it is a new commercial.
That's a new ad there. It's deep. What manner of man is this? The wind and sea obey him. Amazing. So what I want to do is just say this and then finish over the experts so we can move on. All right. And for those who are just tuning in, Hake is one of the experts here on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, and he's the host of the Hake Report Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time, from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Why your seat was so low?
Because look, I go off. If I go all the way up, I'm off the screen.
Oh, sure. You're too tall. And so he's the host of the Hake Report. And JLP Fri, he black, the host of the JLP Fri TV Monday through Thursday, and an expert here. You can podcast him, even though he's not on Friday, you still can podcast his show. And then the American Anchor Baby, energy given to him by God. Monday through Thursday, and then Monday through Thursday at 12 Pacific time, and Fridays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. The American Anchor Baby and an expert from here on the Jesse Peterson show. Let me just say, when I saw the verdict, I didn't know what was going to happen. What's going to happen? But I heard all this thing. It's in New York. The judge and the DA and everybody against Trump, and it was it should not have been in New York because they knew that they were not going to find fair jurors to represent him, and so I didn't know exactly what was going to happen. So when I heard the so-called 34 guilty charges, I was not surprised, but a little surprised. But not surprised, but a little surprised. And it's amazing to me that not one juror said, okay, I'm not agreeing with it. Not one. But I realized that's where our society is like now. We don't have there's no love in America at all. Zero love. I also realized that for white people, I see white people, but white people don't have a chance anymore in the court system. If you white, you automatically, you might well go on, when you leave home that day, you might well take your lunch with you because you're going to jail. And especially if you have a black juror and black judge, I don't know who was on. Does anyone know the race of the people on this trial, the jury?
I don't.
Oh, I think they can't know because they don't want nobody to be threatening them. So
well, I think they can tell what whether the gender, maybe the race later, because we found out about the race and gender of the OJ jurors.
But that's because they started talking in the media, right?
Some of them did, yeah. But some of them did not.
They wanted to know, huh?
Yeah. No, I'm just laughing. That's hilarious. That's true. They could not help themselves.
They wanted to write books. They want to be famous. But in America today, I don't care white people don't have a chance in the court. Look what they tried to do to Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if you really reflect of lately, most white people who have gone to court have been found guilty.
It's weird because
Derek Chauvin.
Nothing's fair. Nothing's like, let's look at both sides. It's just biased.
It's like, it's payback time for white people, even though they have not done anything to deserve it at all, but it's all payback. And so, and when I saw those 4 females up there, and they talk about, what do they call that? Court of Appeal.
Court.
What?
The appeal court judges.
Appeal court, and they had those females up there.
So that's what Trump has to appeal to is them?
Maybe. We think.
Possible.
Maybe.
We're not sure.
The New York State Appeals Court is not much better. So
yeah,
it's like women and stuff too.
So we didn't know.
Get your commissary ready to send to Trump.
So we don't know what's going to happen to
Cancel those words. And then
I cancel those words.
He'll be president of the jail. President of the prison, like JLP said.
Trump may be trying to get his little trial down in Florida somewhere.
Right.
Because he doesn't have a chance in New York.
His own place, his own home.
But I realize this is evil. This is human nature. And human beings are evil. And exactly what's happening to Trump is happening in everybody. It's just that the situation is a little different, and I want to encourage you to start dealing with little situations so that you can be ready when the big ones come. And they will come. And especially if you're working on yourself, all right? So it's just evil. Human beings are evil. And we see evil in operation right here. If they were not evil, we would be just having a campaign going. Everybody waiting to see what happened in November. Best man will win and move on. But they tried to stop this man because they're evil.
In his own home too.
Yeah.
And he helped build it, and all these things, and they destroy him in his own home.
Pure evil. Plato evil. But anyway, James, last word.
It'll be fine. I mean, like you say, America's gone.
Yeah.
But Trump can hold his head high, and so can we. Just be cool.
I really, really appreciate watching Donald Trump. I have for the last, since he first announced he was running way back when. I really respect the way he deal with things.
Yeah.
I just have the utmost respect. Because most of you be crying or out of, they'll be like on post-traumatic stress disorder pills, all this pressure. But I love the way he's handling it.
I agree.
Last word, Joe.
Yeah, I agree. Is and what I talk about, like on my show, about like people, embracing the dark side, so to speak, is what Trump is doing. And what I mean by that is Trump is a perfect example. Is that like he's overcome these rules, that conservatives have about saying don't say certain things, don't talk a certain way. And that's why we lose, is because we're like shackled by these fake rules, right? But Trump breaks all those, and he goes to war with the people who are not living by the rules at all. So that's why he's the real Dark Knight. Let's go, Trump, 2024.
Trump
is that a Black Power fist? Or a Trump fist?
Does it, a Trump fist.
Trump go live by the rules of the heart, not the rules of the land.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think when he does the fist drill, I think he kind of hold it like that.
Not like Black Power.
He ain't all black, right? I think he kind of hold his hand back, right?
I think so.
So you can know he ain't giving no Black Power sign or Hitler sign or any kind of.
That's fair. Fair enough.
Amazing. And you say, Nick.
No, I concur with what everybody said. It's truly evil, and it's amazing what you said, Jesse. It really is, like, evil down to the individual level.
Yeah.
And what's happening? And, like, people can't see beyond what they think of a person, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And then the person, it's so truly insane. A spiritual battle to the end. It's crazy.
Amazing. It is. It's a
they have
spiritual
the
battle.
thought of someone, and that's just who they are. They can't go beyond that.
It's a spiritual battle, and white folks, you need to know they're against you. They want to get rid of Christianity and every white man that stands in the way of that happening. The Democratic men are weak and pathetic. They have no power anyway, so the women running all over them or whatever, right? But Donald Trump is in their way. Kyle Rittenhouse was in their way. And they're trying to get rid of any white man that stands in the way of turning America into a socialist society. It's a spiritual thing. And Donald Trump is in the way. And they're trying to make sure he stays out of the way by any means necessary. So get ready. And that's what happens when you stand up for what is right. Your own mama your mama will build an armor against you. If your mama going to build an armor, will you correct her or apologize even for saying, I'm sorry for resenting you? What do you think you're going to do to Trump?
Right.
Amazing. Last word. Hake, which is easy for you to accept? You are a sinner or all your sins have been wiped away?
Sinner.
And why is that easy for you to accept?
Because everybody says that.
Because the Catholic says it.
Because it feels like this. It feels more humble, like a intellectual sense.
Yeah, that's true.
It's it kind of gives you the okay to go on sinning and being a mess. You don't really have to change. And I don't know, there's something about it that's like a training. You know what I mean? Like it almost feels wrong to say all my sins are washed away. Even though, like, both are in the Bible. Paul says, "Oh, I'm the worst sinner," but it also says that your sins are washed away. It's thrown into the sea of forgetfulness.
Yeah. When Jesus said, y'all thought he was playing.
Yeah, because they always
Jesus said, all your sins are wiped away, but y'all thought he was playing.
Intellectual Christianity, as most of us learned it, is convoluted, confusing, and contradictory to what it actually says.
Yeah.
Be perfect, sin no more, all that stuff. It's in the Bible multiple times, but everybody just context. Oh, in context, it means you're actually going to keep on sinning all the rest of your life and stuff like that. You'll never have perfect peace on this earth.
I know.
Even though it says he'll keep you in perfect peace. If your mind is stayed on him.
Yeah, that's deep.
Yeah. But then I don't know how to stay my mind on him.
That's the exact point right there, is that we've been taught about sin, but not taught about freedom ever. No one teaches us how to be free, opposed to like what we're learning and stuff growing as we in our adulthood. But growing up, I wasn't taught about freedom. I wasn't taught about perfect peace. I wasn't talking about paradise on earth.
They said nothing nice about
nothing.
Jesus.
It's all about sin. It's all about confession, and all these come from like admitting to yourself that you're not a good person.
Right.
So
and all the songs are about like brokenness,
right,
and stuff like that.
I'm so lonely, I lost my mind. So which is easy for you to accept? You are a sinner, or all your sins been wiped away?
Well, it's definitely way easier to accept that you're a sinner because it just makes sense in you from what we believe.
It's easier for you to accept you're a sinner?
To sinner.
And why?
Because it's so easy to believe that, because I believed that all my life, and I've put all my faith in that. But I do know now that the sins are washed away. Like I do see that clear now, but still, despite, it's still easier to say I'm a sinner.
Amazing. Are you scared to say all your sins been wiped away?
No, because I see it now, so I can see that changing.
Yeah.
And I really do see that to be true. But it's so like ingrained in me to accept all the things that come from being a sinner.
Amazing.
It's messed up.
Baby, which is easier for you to accept? That you are a sinner, or all your sins have been wiped away?
Every time you ask me that question, it gets easier to say that my sins have been wiped away. Y'all are laughing, but no. I don't know. I'm just seeing it more and more every time you say that, to be honest, Jesse. But yeah, it is definitely easier to say I'm a sinner and all that, because it satisfies the intellect. It satisfies your little checkbox, like, okay, well, I sin, and okay, check. And I'm doing this, okay, I'm a sinner. It all makes sense. It all makes sense to the intellect. But more and more I'm realizing that all the things that I'm saying about myself are just dramas, and dramas that prove that I don't really want, how do I put this, like to be free. Because if you really wanted to, you would just be it. Like, how do I put this? Like someone saying, oh, like having a low standard of yourself, like within.
Yeah.
But that's easy. It's instant relief.
Yeah.
Instant relief to say, oh, I'm a sinner. But imagine if you had a perfect standard for yourself inside.
Amazing.
Can I add one more last thing?
Yeah.
You said such a good. It's like, I agree. I think there's an element of like us wanting to like enjoy the things of like the ego and stuff like that. But I also think that like we just don't know we don't know anything different. So we don't know how to think in those ways of peace and freedom, or like overcoming. We don't even know what that looks like. We don't. So of course we want it, but we don't know what it is. So I think people just don't know how to achieve it.
Absolutely. James, you said that. What did you say? And then he said we don't know how to do that, though.
The Bible says he will keep in perfect peace.
Right.
Him whose mind is stayed on him.
Oh, yes.
And I'm like, I don't know how to stay my mind on God. What does that even mean? Well, I'm thinking about God. Like you said, all ideas about God are just We're in our imaginations. We're thinking that we're thinking about God.
Yeah. And he said, repeat what you just said.
He will keep in perfect peace him whose mind is stayed on him.
Do you know how to keep your mind on God?
No.
Wait on God. Wait on God.
Woke up this morning with my mind
stayed on Jesus.
On Hillary.
Nick, do you know how to do that?
No.
Here's how you do it. Stay present. That's all it takes.
Can I get in there?
That's all it is. If you stay present.
You already said no, Joel.
No, I'm gonna go off of that.
You stay present, you're one with the Father. You have the same mindset and everything. But if you go with time, which is of evil, your mind is on the devil. You're thinking about the past or the future and not about God.
I agree with that. And that's what I was saying about what Nick's comment. I agree with that 100%. I think that's it, stay in the present.
Yeah.
But there's still a not know-how of staying in the present that can only be revealed because it's true what you say, and if you believe that and it's working for you, like it's true. But there's still a not know-how.
He tell
that
you
people
how.
are struggling.
Stay present. Work on staying present by letting thoughts pass. Just let thoughts pass through the mind, and when the thoughts are passing through the mind, you are present with God.
But I think that can only happen through revelation, because if we don't know what that means...
Through who?
Through revelation, because if we don't know what that means...
Who is
we're
revelation?
Not, by insight, by the light of God.
Oh, what now? Why don't you practice doing all you have to do? I tell you guys sometimes, practice walk through a door, practice getting in your car. As soon as the conversation over, y'all forgot to walk through the door.
Then I'll be practicing in vain.
No, you won't.
Yeah, because I have to... It's like...
It's
like going to forgive. It's like going to forgive. It's true about forgiveness, right? Like you say, go forgive. That's true. But if you go for the sake of, in namesake only, because either you said it or that sounds good, then it's really not going to have the effect. It's like
that's not true.
You have to.
The fact that you try it, the fact that you start doing it, you're welcome the truth to come in because you hadn't heard this before. I need to stay present, right? So now a witness come along. They say, hey, just be present. Practice walking in and out. The truth going to come in and take over and show you how to do that.
I get what you're saying, but it's not working for me.
You're not doing it.
No, but I am though. But it may be different for other people. But I'm just saying for me is that when I
You're not
practice
aware at
it.
all?
No, I am. But when I practice
know Joel
it,
a little bit, right?
But
you're not aware
but
at
I
all?
am. No, I am though. But when I practice it, like I'm also there's still a little bit of intellectual part of it in there. But if it was just about practice, then all I got to do is just get up and do it and work.
Right.
But I think it also comes down to like understanding what that really means. They're really the mind being renewed on what these things mean.
I know what the problem is. You're thinking.
Okay, well then I need a revelation not to think.
Because in him there is no thinking. You can't think about this.
So how do we stop ourselves from thinking?
Just by being aware of the thoughts, and he will stop them. You can't stop them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He will stop
though.
them.
That's what I'm saying. He has to do it.
But
not
you don't
me.
believe that possible, right?
No, I do. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that he has to do it. I'm saying that I can't just down the thought, that's that. Walk with God. Forgive.
Yes, you can.
But he has to go on my behalf and make that true. Reveal that to me. Lead me to it.
I don't quite know what you're talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
What? I don't know what you're saying.
Everybody's like, I have no free will to do it. He has to do it. God has to change me, type stuff.
Because you're giving me free will. You're giving me free will by saying, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, right?
That's not what I'm saying.
But you're saying
put me in, coach. That's all. You just said, like, put a good attitude, and God will do
right.
the rest.
But if I don't know how to run,
you still gotta like show
I
up.
think,
Put me in,
I
coach.
think these people have learned about free will, and it's holding them back.
Put me in, coach. But no, not that though, because that's not true. Is that put me in, coach? Is what he said. Put me in, coach, and then God will do the rest. But then if
I don't know what that means.
If God but maybe Nick can explain it. If
like
God
as in
puts
pray,
me in,
he's saying. So what I'm understanding you're saying is like, so sitting around and wait till God. Like you already heard the revelation. You heard from a witness. Be aware. Da da da.
But that doesn't mean that I knew it.
Now show up to the game with a good attitude, not thinking that you're the God and gonna do everything.
But that's like
and He'll do the rest.
But no, because that's like reading. That's like opening the
I
Bible.
got the revelation.
But this is good. This is good. That's like opening. Okay. Let me say the last thing. Come on.
He's getting wide-eyed. No, I'm kidding.
Let my eyes go wide for a second.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. We about to get into a black conversation now. They're going on forever. But go ahead.
It's like opening the Bible, and then you're reading the scripture, and then hoping God's going to show up. Then I'm the Bible thumper. And
Not necessarily.
What Nick is saying is that put him in the game, coach, is that like, okay, well, God's going to just jump in the game because you're ready to go. But it doesn't mean that I know the routes. It doesn't mean I know how to play it. But you don't just go in the game if you don't know how to play. So I know you're not understanding that
When I say go in the game, I mean go pray. Even if you don't pray anyways, try to be aware anyways.
I don't
even
believe
if you
that.
don't quite understand.
Learn by doing.
I don't believe that we should do things
because
just
you
for
already
the sake
got the
of doing
revelation
them.
on that. You heard it from a witness, and you're like, that is so true. Let me show up every day, pray, even if I don't quite totally understand. Let me just show up. And I don't know, it's working for me. Like I'm seeing.
Have a can-do attitude.
Let
not
me
a
do this last
can't-do
word,
attitude.
James.
Yeah.
Last word, real fast.
Oh, have a can-do attitude, not a can't-do attitude.
Okay. Last word, Joel.
Doubt the doubt.
I ain't got nothing else to say. I'm worded out.
Nice.
Last word, Anchor Baby.
Last word.
Yeah.
Get the calls.
When Trump appealed this thing, you think he gonna be free from all this?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't envy him because I wouldn't want to fight in courts.
Especially being white.
I like going to courts. You know how I kind of wanted to be on the
Yeah.
jury? But I think they looked me up, is my guess, over the weekend. So, what a mess.
I think I have jury duty.
Yeah, but he'll be fine regardless of whatever he has to go through.
During appeal, you think he'll be set free?
I don't know, because I see you show those appeal officers. At this point, I don't know. But I think that it's all part of the plan. It's all part of God's plan.
Trust the plan.
Trust the plan.
The appeal, is that going to work for the Great White Hope?
I have no clue, honestly.
I know, me either.
It is like
I like
anything barn doors, as they say in Canada.
Okay.
Anything can happen.
It's interesting. I'm waiting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how the election goes now. It's so mind blowing. So I want to encourage you though, in closing about this whole thing. Stay away from anger. Stay away from anger. To you conservative, you never Trumper. I mean, not never Trumper, but America First people and everything. Don't get angry. They want you to get angry. They want you to create violence. They want you to go to war, and they're going to lock you up and take away all your freedom. Stay away from the anger. Do not get angry. Calm down. It's the same one that I gave when they went over there to the Capitol and acted out. And look what happened, right? They want you to be, especially you white guys, they want you to be angry. Don't fall for it. This is all going to work out just fine. Do not get angry. Support Trump, donate, volunteer, get involved, but don't get angry. Stay away from the anger, right? They want you, anger will cause you to walk right into a trap. Do not get angry, conservative men and women. Yes, Jay.
Biden's statement about this Trump thing was trying to predict and provoke anger and violence and pretend like Trump's side is the violent ones.
Right.
When they're the violent ones. But they provoke some of us, you know, a few people to get angry and be like, see, and then they slam down hard on the right and the whites.
The devil used anger to destroy you. Do not get angry.
Yep.
Thank you, experts. I appreciate it. Amazing. Nice. Quick break, right to the phones and super chats when I come back. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. I forgot to play the soundbite, the real soundbite that Donald Trump spoke right after the so-called 34 guilty charge convictions. I forgot to play that. We have it now, right, Nick? Here's the real Donald Trump speaking after that, not that first one we played.
This was a disgrace. This was a rigged trial by a conflicted judge who was corrupt. It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. But the real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here. You have a Soros-backed DA, and the whole thing. We didn't do a thing wrong. I'm a very innocent man, and it's okay. I'm fighting for our country. I'm fighting for our Constitution. Our whole country is being rigged right now. This was done by the Biden administration in order to wound or hurt an opponent, a political opponent, and I think it's just a disgrace. And we'll keep fighting. We'll fight till the end, and we'll win, because our country's gone to hell. We don't have the same country anymore. We have a divided mess. We're a nation in decline, serious decline. Millions and millions of people pouring into our country right now from prisons and from mental institutions, terrorists, and they're taking over our country. We have a country that's in big trouble. But this was a rigged decision right from day one, with a conflicted judge who should have never been allowed to try this case, never. And we will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Amazing. Yeah, that's the one. What manner of man is this? To hear Donald Trump speak, you would think that there would be one American citizen who does not agree with what he's saying. Our country is screwed up. Illegal aliens everywhere, crime everywhere. Jobs gone, economy bad, everything going. It's expensive now. The races are more divided than any other time in the history of America. Anger is everywhere. This comes from this administration, Joe Biden administration. You would think everyone would agree with that and want to make it better. You would think that they would want to make it better. They would want to hear a man say, okay, Look what a mess they have made in your country. They giving our money to Ukraine and everywhere, all over, even our enemies. And they've done nothing for the home. Zero. But they deliberately screwed it up. You would think all America want to hear that, but no. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly to first-time caller out of Puerto Rico, Sam. Oh, yeah, I forgot Joe. I would get to Joe right after Sam and everybody. Sam, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. Good morning, Jesse. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, I wanted to get in contact with you first. Well, before I start, what would be the better recommended way to donate? Would it be buy me a coffee or Cash App? What would you feel would be better?
Go to rebuildingtheman.com, Bond. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/donate.
Okay, that'd be the best way.
Yeah, or you can call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663 to donate. That's the best way. Rebuildingtheman.com/donate or call 800-411-BOND.
All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I wanted to get out of the way. All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And wanted to say thank you, appreciate you for everything you do. I listen to you on a regular. I've been binge watching your, not watching, but listen to you on the podcast and catching up with everything. So, and all the questions from the callers that you answer actually help me and eliminate a lot of questions I have. But there's one I hear you tell people, because you ask people sometimes, and you ask them if they forgave their father and mother. And I heard you sometimes when you say, have you forgiven your biological father?
Yes.
Yes, that matters. I did it with my stepfather because he was there most of my life, and then I met my biological father at 16. Does it matter? Does it have to be my biological father also?
Yes.
Because I did it with my stepfather, and he was actually relieved. He said, "Boy, you made my day and broke my heart at the same time."
Right on. I would highly recommend that you have a conversation with your biological father, even if because most people don't resent their father. It's the mother they resent, but it's the mother who make them think that they resent their father, right? They deceive the children. But I would highly recommend you have a conversation with your biological father and ask him what happened, why you were not there, what really went down, and just hearing his side would cause you to forgive him as well.
Well, believe it or not, cool, I actually can get to the root of it, because when I first met him, I was 16. And the first thing he said to me, he gave me a hug. He said, "Man, I didn't know."
Yeah.
He simply put it like, he said, "Man, I didn't know at all." And I was 16, so I wasn't thinking to say, "I forgive you." You know, I just automatically forgave him just from him saying that.
Right on.
But,
yeah.
I hear you say, yes, you should verbally do it.
Well, that alone, if you don't see that you need to do it, you're fine. As long as you're paying attention to yourself, and if you can see there's no anger toward him at all, you're fine. Because I remember when I talked to my biological father, when I asked him what happened, and he explained to me what happened, first of all, I was just yearning for him anyway. All human beings, no matter what color, rich or poor, they're yearning for the Father, right? And so it's about returning to the Father. That's what salvation is all about. And so when I forgave when I had that conversation with my earthly father, everything was fine anyway. So I didn't have to say, "I forgive you" or anything, because I had no resentment for him at all.
Okay, perfect. Because we got along well, right?
Yeah.
Just sat down and talked to him, and it was like everything fit in. I figured out where I got a lot of these genetic traits. I couldn't figure out why I was like the black sheep of my family, that I dealt with my family.
Yeah.
And come to find out, there's a whole bunch of big-headed people just like me that think like me, got kind of similar,
Yeah.
sense of humor. What's that?
You're doing fine. And if you have no anger toward him, you're fine.
Okay, perfect. All right. Thank you, Jess. I think that was the root of it. And something for Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Women are evil, as you say.
Amazing. And a lot of women that listen to the show are starting to realize that they are evil, and they didn't know before. They had not been told. They knew something wrong with them, but they didn't realize how that evil nature, which is of the devil, was controlling them. And those women are starting to overcome it. I see it all the time. I counsel with them. We talk about it in the women's forum at our fellowship. They just didn't know in the same way that the men didn't know that they needed to forgive their mothers.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you for that enlightenment.
Right on.
Yeah. Everything about it has been helping me with my journey on being a man, because that's all I really care about. And I've learned that the more of a man that I am, the less problem I'm going to have out of anybody or any woman or any child. Absolutely, man.
All that stuff disappear. But stay with it, and practice being present. Instead of lost in your head, think about the past or the future. That's where evil dwells, right? So practice being present. Eternal life, perfect peace is always present, and that's where you want to be.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Wonder.
Right on. Stay with it. And thanks for your support, Sam. I appreciate it.
No problem, Jesse. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing.
I will, buddy. Thank you. 888-775-3773. Let me go to Joe out of Arizona. Joe, thanks for holding. You're back on the air.
Yeah, no worries. You guys can all relax, because the most likely outcome is that Trump will get probation, maybe. He's not going to go to prison over this.
Well, I don't think that we are not relaxed about it. We just had a conversation about it. And it sounds like all my experts have understand that it's not over. It's a wait and see, and we don't know what the outcome going to be. But it's interesting to be an observer of what's happening and watch how evil human beings are. The nature of humans are evil, and we're looking at it in a big way with this attack upon Donald Trump.
Well, we disagree on all that. All that's nonsense. But
so I think now?
Could get. So I disagree on all that. Everything you just said is nonsense. It's not an attack.
I wasn't trying to agree or disagree. I'm just telling you reality. It wasn't about It wasn't about whether you agree or disagree.
Well, I have the facts. You have conjecture and lies. So that's fine.
And but you never have the facts. You just make up stuff.
Yeah, that's what you do, Jeffrey.
Did you know that you just make up stuff? You call different shows and you just say things not even true, and you just make it up. Why is that?
I don't fall for your trolling, Jesse.
Why is that, Joe?
Believe what you like, Jesse. Believe what you like.
Joe, I'm asking you a question. You're not answering the question.
I hear you. And it's more lies and more idiocy. So go
Joe,
ahead.
I just asked you a question. Why do you just... What's wrong with you that you just make up stuff? You just throw stuff out there. There's no proof of it or anything.
This is the definition of projection, Jesse. Do you realize
All right, thank you, Joe. Call Hake and play with him like that. Because I don't even understand that kind of playing. He just make up stuff. Do you know he just make up stuff and throw it out and no proof and just said it?
He's definitely in his head about stuff that people say and think. Like, I heard him think that he debunked Big Bump. And I don't know.
When he called your show, do you realize you're talking to a guy that have no idea what are you talking about or anything?
No, I think we're two crazy people talking and arguing about the facts.
Amazing. Let me go quickly to Pambo. Pambo out of Germany. Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. Pambo, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hello, Jesse. Hello. Nice to talk with you.
Thank you. Appreciate your call. Yes.
I have a question. I was raised in a...
Hold on. You. I'm not hearing you clearly. Hold on, buddy. Don't hang up. Do not hang up. I'm going to let the guys handle that and get it straight. And I'll come back to you. Let me go to Tony in the meantime. Don't hang up. Tony out of California. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse. How are you today?
Good morning, Tony.
All right. I know you're not feeling too well because of the verdict of your...
No, I feel fine.
hope.
Hey, Joe, I feel just fine because I know Donald Trump is not feeling anything about it. I love watching how he deals with the issues of life. So I'm not feeling anything about that. Those are your feeling, not my feeling.
Well, the thing is, sir, that he is not above the law.
Do you understand that it's your feeling and not my feeling?
Individual.
Tony.
He's
hey, Tony.
One individual.
Tony.
Yes.
Do you understand those are your feeling, not mine?
Okay. I mean, I'm just saying he's your white hope, not mine. Okay.
That's
so we
true.
got the same feeling. Okay. But the thing is, you reap what you sow. If he had walked away when he lost the presidency, he may not be going through what he's going through. But since he want to continue with these lies and falsehoods and starting walls against the American government and the American people that truly love America.
Tony, what war he started? What war? Tony.
What war? January 6th was the first one.
Tony, that wasn't a war, and it's not about January 6th. What war?
It's about the lies.
Tony, bye. He like Joe. He just say stupid stuff. And I'm trying to have a conversation, and he's just going on and on with the stupid. How you deal with that?
I deal with it a lot.
But how?
I don't know. I like
stupid people saying stupid stuff. No facts, no nothing, no truth. Just say it.
I don't know. I kind of like the mess.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, but I mean, you deal with more like real stuff, adult stuff. Hake is the mess show.
So is it
Pambo.
Pambo. Only was spelling it wrong.
Yeah.
Pambo. Let's try it again, buddy.
Hello.
Hey.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me, Jesse?
Yes, sir. I can hear you now.
Yes, great. Nice to talk with you.
You too.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was raised in a very nice island in the Mediterranean Sea in Europe with nice weather. Everything was perfect. And when I was 10 years old, my mother separated with my father and moved me away to Germany. Germany is a mess with all the Muslims, and it's a mess.
Right.
So when I started living in Germany, I had to learn the German language and go to the German school, but I never succeeded. So every job I made, it wouldn't work. So right now I'm studying at the university for a government job, and since I'm listening also to you and I'm doing the silent prayer every morning, every night, I noticed that everybody in the classroom has turned against me. Everybody. So there's not even a single person that's turned not against me. But I understand them. But deep inside of me, I don't want to do the job. It's a great job, but I don't want to do the job. I want to move back to my country, to my father. What should I do? Should I finish the university? It's another year to finish it. Although I would never want to make the job and work in Germany. Or should I go back to my father? And last question, if I go to my father, is it okay to live together with my father? Although I'm 23 years old.
Number one, Pambo, I would totally encourage you to make that decision for yourself. You need to see what you want to do and do that. If you want to quit the school and go back to your country, absolutely. If not, not. But don't make it a difficult thing. I mean, You can't go wrong doing what you want to do, whether you want to stay or not. And then to live with your father at 23, as long as you pay some bill around there, and when you're able to move out, move out. But those are not difficult decisions. Just do the one you want to do.
Yes, because sometimes the thoughts come to my head and they say, because the people in the class, they want me to kicked out from the class. They don't want me at the job.
And why are they attacking you at the class, in the class?
I think because I'm not a member of the group. I don't want to be a groupie.
And do you preach at them or anything like that?
No,
Oh.
not at all.
And so like you're like all alone at work, at the school?
Yes, I'm totally normal. I talk totally normal, but I don't have anybody that I'm not a groupie. Nobody comes to me. But the one time we had an argument because they told me that I have reported one of them at the boss. But I reacted to it, and that was my fault. I reacted to it and told them that I didn't make the problem. And because I reacted, they hated me even more. So since then, all the class is against me, but it's okay. I understand them.
Well, if you want to quit the school and go back to your country, you're a grown man. There's nothing that can stop you but you. If you want to go, go. If you don't, go. If you want to live with your father when you get there for a while, absolutely do that. And have no negative or positive opinion about it. Just stay present and do your thing.
Thank you, Jesse. Because the thoughts are telling me if I leave the job, then they have won and I am weak for leaving.
No, that's not true at all. They can't, nothing for them to win. You're just living your life. In their mind, they may be thinking they're winning, but those are their thoughts and it has nothing to do with you.
Okay, Jesse. Thank you so much.
And you're very fortunate that you have to stand alone, because most human beings around the world cannot stand alone. They cannot do it. They cannot do it. And the man that can stand alone is the blessed man.
I noticed they can't even go to the toilet if somebody else doesn't follow them. They need to go always in groups.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially the women. They need to have another woman in the toilet to talk to.
Absolutely. That's
and
right.
The groupies are always very. How is the name of the thing called when you talk behind the back of others?
Gossiping.
Gossiping, yes. The groupies are gossiping a lot.
Yeah. No, the group is always wrong. The group is always evil. That's why they have to get in a group so they can validate the evil that's in themselves by going after others. So, yeah, if you want to move back, and don't worry about what someone else say about it. Don't even think about what other think. You just live your life.
Thank you, Jesse. Last small question. Do you think if people are in the fallen state, they are also becoming unattractive physically? So as more fallen state they are, the more unattractive they become with the time.
Yeah.
Because I notice people that are not in a fallen state, they have good skin, everything is perfect. But the people that are in a fallen state, they are a mess, like the blacks. They are getting fat and eating a lot of junk food.
Because of their evil nature. Thank you,
Thank you.
All right, but back in a moment.
Hey, listen, before I ask my question, I want to thank you so much. The silent prayer, I'm 50 years old. At home, we have a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, and a 10-year-old. And I got to tell you, introducing the silent prayer to my family, instead of just sitting down and saying the same old prayer over and over again before we eat our meal, to just be silent, bringing all thoughts into captivity. Brother, that has been such a huge, huge blessing in our lives. I just want to encourage anyone to try that out. It's amazing to look around after we've done our silent prayer before we eat, to see the excitement in my kids' faces, like, oh yeah, Dad, I had a bunch today. Or the other one will be like, yeah, I had a couple things that I've been thinking about. It really takes root, Jesse, and so I want to thank you so much, and ever since then, it's been absolutely amazing. So thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tony. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. You're going to know God and his love. It's going to be amazing, man.
Terrible things going on in the world. Am I right? A shooting in Minneapolis, a mass stabbing in Germany. You guys hear about that? I saw it on Twitter this morning. And other mess happening. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. Express Yourself Friday, May 31st, AD 2024. The rent's due tomorrow, or whatever you guys pay when you guys own your houses. Whatever. Nice. Sweet. JLP will be right back for hour 3 to your calls. There is one line open. Hang tight, callers and super chatters. We will get to your super chats. And the expert Hassan's take on the Trump trial, Trump conviction, and other stuff. But first, Hake news, not fake news. Commie Nonsense Network, CNN reports on so-called gun violence. No such thing. A Minneapolis shooting Thursday evening left 2 people dead, including an officer ambushed by someone he thought needed help. What a setup. Evil world. Police initially were called to the city's Whittier neighborhood. Whittier in Minneapolis, not Whittier over here in L.A. Suburbs. On a report of 2 people shot in an apartment building when the 28-year-old officer arrived on the scene. He was shot in a very close encounter with the suspect as he attempted to render first aid to other individuals struck by gunfire, according to authorities. The suspect in the shooting also was killed, and 4 others were wounded. What a mess, huh? So an officer was killed and 4 others wounded, and the alleged murderer, cop killer, was killed. The incident is one of approximately 180 mass shootings in the United States so far this year, according to the far-left so-called gun violence archive. People who are not far-left know that gun violence is no such thing. What a mess, huh? And speaking of violence, a knife attack in Mannheim, Germany. A suspect was shot around noontime in Germany today, Friday. It's not noon yet here in Los Angeles. Several people, they say. Several could mean just more than 2, I think, or at least more than 1, including a police officer stabbed after a knife-wielding assailant reportedly attacked. He was dark-haired. He looked kind of Muslim to me, but I'm not sure, okay? So I don't know. I don't know if it was Muslim or not. But anyway, he attacked a so-called right-wing protest in Germany's Mannheim. Police officer among those injured in this stabbing attack in the German city of Mannheim Friday around midday. Police said the firearm was used against an attacker. I thought it might have been a woman officer who shot him. Not sure. But he had to kind of get around because he was scuffling with a whole bunch of other people, but luckily he was on the outside so they could shoot him. What a mess. No further danger to the public. So it was supposedly at a right-wing demonstration in one of Mannheim's central squares. It was streamed live on YouTube, I think. So terrible stuff going on in the world. By the way, speaking of terrible things, Ukraine propaganda, crooked Joe Biden has given permission to Ukraine to carry out limited strikes inside Russian territory. Not good. With American munitions. Loosening of the restrictions marks a break from long-standing policy. Comes amid growing international pressure from even close U.S. allies. Potential strikes will be limited to the area around Kharkiv, so said U.S. officials, after Russia made significant advances around that city. Crooked Joe Biden's administration is standing firm, yet nothing about them is firm, in not allowing Ukraine to use formidable munition they've been given to fire into Russia. The long-range missiles, known as ATACMS, ATACMS, all caps, can hit targets 200 miles away. So it's a mess. Over in Hawaii, the main power utility in Hawaii will cut off electricity to some areas to in future extreme weather conditions to avoid another wildfire disaster. Remember the Maui wildfires a year or 2 ago, whenever that was? The planned shutoffs are in response to last year's fire, killed more than 100 people in Lahaina, I called it, on the island of Maui, caused $6 billion in damages, high wind and red flag warnings the day of the devastating fires, but the siren system didn't sound. So terrible things. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 3.
Somewhere in the world today, men have got to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show today. We're going to move calls and super chats. You can get involved by calling 888-77-53773. 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. And my biblical question for this week is a doozy. My biblical question: are emotions necessary? Are emotions necessary? Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com. And to donate and have your super chats read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? We're going to get to your super chats. I realize we haven't done those yet. And all of your phone calls. It's Friday. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. And this Friday is especially busy because of the madness in New York and around the world, really, but in New York. So people are talking about that. But it's Friday. Get It Off Your Chest Day. Whatever is on your mind, express yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Amazing. What manner of man is this? The one as he obeys him. Let me just ask Hassan. I forgot to ask Hassan, my other expert here, the audio engineer. So with the trial thing, 34 charges, the jury found Trump of Donald Trump found guilty of all 34 charges on the so-called hush money trial. What did you think, Hassan, when you heard the so-called verdict?
Yeah, I mean, I just, it's definitely horrible. He's definitely being wrongfully convicted, and it's reminding me of definitely like Christ and all of that. But, I don't know. I think that I think it's bad, but I think also we as conservatives kind of have to, I don't know. I don't really want to say move on, but because I love Trump, I love him, and but I don't know. I think that there's been a steady decline in energy. And I don't know if he can. I just don't know where he's at as far as like stamina of being able to take all this. And if, because I saw this thing where he's potentially welcoming Nikki Haley, saying, yeah, you can potentially be in the cabinet. And, you know, he's got this Tim Scott guy doing all these soft speeches and stuff. So I don't know. I'm losing. I love him, but at this point, it doesn't even seem like it's much better than Biden.
It doesn't seem like better than Biden.
Like,
What?
barely.
And why you say that?
I mean, he's talking about welcoming Nikki Haley, possibly Lindsey Graham. He's got Tim Scott doing these speeches about his mother every day. I mean, it just feels like a shell of the guy who I loved in 2015, 2016, where he was really standing up, where it was really about America. It felt like nationalism. It felt like build the wall, Muslim ban.
Who did he say?
What?
What does your jacket say?
Oh, this is just some. I don't know. It's like Ukrainian.
What are you promoting?
I'm not promoting anything.
What do you mean, like Ukrainian?
It's just like it just says something in Ukrainian.
Oh, in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And what does it mean?
What does it say?
Yeah, it was just brought to my attention. What does it say?
It says black dogs.
And what does that mean?
Just
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's my whole thing is that I love him to death, but he's just not, you know, he's not the 2015 Trump that I fell in love with, that I felt like.
And when you say he should move on, what do you mean?
I'm just saying for us as conservatives, it's like, it just doesn't feel like the guy who I'll say me. I'm just going to say me.
Right.
That I fell in love with, that felt like he was fighting for America and fighting for it just feels very, even if he gets through all this and wins, it just looks like 4 years of very, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's going to be much.
And how can you tell that?
Well, because
and I'm not saying you're wrong or right, but I'm saying what it look like it's going to be if he should win?
Well, I just think that, like, even before all this happened, when he announced, the energy just really wasn't there. The energy didn't even come until he got all these whatever indictments or anything. And I don't want to criticize him because he's going through enough. The poor guy is being criticized by the whole world. And I do love him. I love him so much. But I think it woke me up to realize, and like even how you say, keep some distance between you and Trump. Don't put him on a pedestal.
Right.
Like, I'm probably not very good at doing that. Sometimes I get really, really, and I think it just woke me up to have to realize that that's what I need to do, because even if he gets through all this and gets in, it just feels like if he's talking about Nikki Haley and Lindsey Graham and this Tim Scott guy is going to be involved, I mean, what do we even got? What are we?
And so has he said they're all going to be a part of his cabinet or something, you say?
Well, the other day he said, oh, Nikki Haley, would be welcome with open arms, which, is potentially saying to be involved in the cabinet. And these people are just warmongers who don't have America's best interest, so I just don't know who he is anymore. I don't know if he's the same guy that I rallied behind. And in order for me to rally behind him like that, I need him to start getting back to 2015 when it was that energy.
How did you feel when you heard the verdict?
I felt sad. I felt sad because it was a sad day for America. But like you say every day on the show, I mean, the country's gone. And unfortunately, I'm having to wake up to that. And it's sad. It is, because even when you say it, I want to be like, no, no, it's, but it is, because really on both sides, we're just cooked.
You say that they treated Trump the way they treated Jesus. Did you say that?
Yeah,
Meaning what?
Well, I like saying that because it makes people upset. Really, on both sides, people get upset from that analogy. But
You just like saying it because it upset people?
well, I do, yeah. But
Oh.
but I also do want to say that if you leave things up to the people, they'll always choose Barabbas. That's really like the sentiment of that. It's like you really shouldn't be surprised. Like how you say
Right.
human beings are wicked, our nature is evil. If you let people decide, they're always going to choose Barabbas. So it's like, it's unfortunate.
That's a good point. They always choose evil.
Yep.
Amazing. Well, amazing. That's Hassan.
But I do love them, and, you know, it's just I need a little bit more before I commit my vote.
It's like the more you give, the more I want. Can't get enough of your love, babe. No. You heard that song?
That's Barry White. I do know that one.
Nice. My mind made up. Amazing. Thank you, Hassan.
Yes, sir. Thank
Let
you.
me go to Mark out of California. Mark, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. First, I want to say the way you handled that snake from Phoenix, you better give Hake a tip on that because he gives the guy 40 minutes every day.
Mark.
No, that's what I wanted to
Mark.
say. If you want to hang up, that's fine.
Mark.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That thing between you and that guy and Hake stuff, y'all save it for Hake show. I just know that whenever he called my show, he never really tell the truth about it. It's just like he making up stuff in his head and put it out there, and it just doesn't make sense to conversate with anyone about made up stuff. It's like living in an insane asylum. But the fight that you guys are having, save that for the Hake show.
Sure. No, I just wanted to say you handled it the right way. But the reason I called is, and Hake got to take a tip from that. What I wanted to talk about was the jury makeup. From what I've heard, Trump's speaking right now, if you're interested. He's on Newsmax Live. But anyway, the jury didn't have any black men, but it had a black woman, an Asian woman. And from what reports are saying that the rest of the jurors were white. So they must have been a bunch of white liberals. But
and so was it mostly men on the, as far as you know, and was it mostly men on the jury and not women?
Well, there were two women, from what Ed Henry of Fox News said. Ed Henry was in the courtroom, and he said it.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. But it was a bad day for America, and the people that are applauding it are enemies of America.
And then when you say it was a bad day for America, in what way was it bad for America?
Because they put a presidential candidate. Hold on one second, Jess. Okay. Yeah, they put a presidential candidate in jail for nothing, for a clerical error.
But he's not in jail yet.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's not. I misspoke. But they convicted him on a clerical error, and they had Biden for document stealing, and they said because he was too feeble-minded, they couldn't take him to court, or there wouldn't be a jury that would convict. So there's a double standard. You have a guilty man in Biden who's not going to be tried, and then you have Trump who did zero, and he was convicted on nothing. I hope he wins on appeal, and I hope he could become our president and straighten things out.
Well, one thing I know that is happening, and it appears to be happening for sure. I don't know it's happening, but it's like Trump. The more that they try to hurt him, and the more they try to destroy him, the more support he's getting from the American voters. So that's a good thing that seems to be happening.
Yeah, I agree, and I do think he will win, short of a killing. I honestly believe this, and I hope to God it doesn't happen. But if these clowns can't put him away, they're going to try to kill him. That's my opinion.
We don't know anything, Mark. We don't know anything like that going to happen. So I'm just warning the people not to get angry at what they see the president is going through. Because if they get angry, the enemy want them to get angry so they can do crazy stuff, and they're going to lock up the Trump supporters. So don't get angry. Don't be out there talking about a war, and just get out and support the president and vote and financially support him. He'll be fine.
I do. I'm going to send him $100 today.
Right on.
And I've heard that he's since this thing in New York, he's raised millions and millions of more dollars.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So the people are seeing through this,
Right on.
and I think in the end we're going to win. I think he's being persecuted more than any man in history except for Jesus, and I think that again, it may take a miracle, but I think he is going to win. And we're going to get our country back.
Amazing. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
You too. Amazing. So, hey, you're saying, from according to the Guardian?
Yeah. 7 men. There were 7 men and 5 women chosen to sit on the jury as of last month, per the Guardian, on that so-called hush money trial, the extortion thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. Super chat. Super
chats.
Someone bought a coffee on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. I've realized something about this year's presidential election. It is not Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. It is Trump versus not Trump.
Amazing.
Yeah, they just hate him. They don't like Joe Biden.
Right. Thank you.
Aussie Lisa G bought a coffee. Biblical question. Are emotions necessary?
Are emotions necessary?
Emoji. Emotions are the reactions to feelings. Feelings are the reaction to and from thoughts. All thoughts are evil, except practical. Therefore, emotions are necessary only to help you discern between God, good, practical, and the devil, evil. Maybe I'm thinking too much. Laughing face with tears coming
out. I put my 2 cents in on Sunday. I don't know if you is he saying emotion are not necessary?
I think it's a she.
Is she saying that they are necessary or not?
I think she's saying they're necessary to help you discern between God, the good ones, the practical thoughts, and the devil, evil ones that give you feelings. So if you have emotions about something, that means that's not from God. She's saying it's...
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you very much.
But she does admit, maybe I'm thinking too much. Thank you, Aussie Lisa G.
Yes, thank you.
So Tyrios bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I saw a movie I must recommend to you. And he shares the movie. I'll send it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Reminded me so much of things you were talking about. Mind-blowing. Haven't seen a better description of what a real man is supposed to be. Love y'all.
Right on. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Have you seen Come Home, Little Sheba yet?
No.
You didn't see it yet?
It's been work nights.
Oh.
I don't watch movies on school nights or work nights.
That makes sense. If you do watch it, make sure you watch it in black and white. And it's old one. I don't know if they remade it or anything, but you want to see the original.
Okay.
Because when they redo these movies, they water them down.
True.
Yeah.
Over on buymeacoffee.com, Nomo Thoughts says, /JLP Talk, of course, which is easier for me to accept, that I'm a sinner or that my sins have been forgiven? Believing my sins have been forgiven is easier because it's true. When I actually saw it last summer, I just stared at a wall for a moment. Haha.
Amazing. Nice. Amazing. Thank you.
Stefan J. Davis donated to Bond JLP on Cash App, saying, thanks for being amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate your support.
And Urinal Chills is a monthly supporter on Rumble. It says,
you gotta know how to rumble.
Because you said, isn't it amazing? It's Friday. Why, yes, Jesse, it is amazing.
It is amazing.
Jake Husden.
Thank you.
Jake Husden donated a couple of Rumble rants saying, hello, buy Hake soda. Thank you.
Did I say come home, little Sheba?
Yeah.
What did I say? What I ask you about it right now?
Did I watch it yet?
Oh, yeah. Come home, little Sheba. What was that super chat you just read?
Hello, buy Hake soda.
He's too busy drinking water.
Yeah, too much water.
That's for sure.
But thank you, Jake, for your Rumble rant.
Do you really feel like you have to drink water every minute?
Every hour, at least.
Every hour.
More or less.
Every hour.
Uh-huh.
So you think your body need water every hour?
Yep.
Will you live in the desert?
Yes, we live in the desert.
You are?
Yep, I do. This is a desert. Did you know that? That's what I heard. Anyway, Donnie Girl's idea donated a Rumble rant. The Mother Teresa comment from Trump in that statement was before the thing. Perhaps after comments were also included. She gave a Rumble rant when we played the clip from before the trial ended.
Right. Yeah, definitely before the jury came out with its mess. And we played the right one, though.
Yeah, we just played it.
Yeah, we played the right one. Thank you.
Aries 1 with a diamond reaction / attention-based economy. Real.
Amazing.
Thank you, Aries 1.
What did they respond to?
I'm not sure. Maybe it has to do with getting people hyped, reaction, getting people's attention, and the economy is based on making people hyped about some dumb thing.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Aries 1, as always, for the support.
Absolutely.
Cactus Eater Bear gave a diamond saying the acquittal process will drag on for years with Trump.
And they say that it won't even start happening until after the election.
Yeah, probably. That makes sense.
Yeah. Amazing.
So much for a speedy trial.
Yeah.
Henry Ford lives with a diamond. Political theater for the dumb guy. Keep watching. I censored it slightly, but thank you, Henry Ford.
So
lives.
God forbid if the stupid New York people, the trial thing, decide to put the judge say he's going to jail, right?
Uh-huh.
Can he still run for president?
Yeah.
He can still run?
Yeah. He just has to do it from home or from the jail cell or whatever.
And so, like, if he's in jail, can he still be the president?
They might let him have a cell phone in jail.
Right on. And so he could be president.
Or a computer.
He could be president in jail?
Yeah, he can, instead of doing fireside chats, he can do jail cell chats. Wouldn't that be nice?
So he'd be like a jail president.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Sweet. Joe Daddy says, he said on YouTube, Trump is the most honest president we've ever had, and they will never forgive him for it.
Absolutely. Amazing. Thank you.
BM007 says, how does a person get extorted, pays, gets convicted of paying and not reporting the extortion payment on state taxes, yet the extortionist goes free and keeps the money? Shaking head emojis.
What a mess. Thank you.
Yeah. Donnie Girl's idea says, you have to go through the fire to get to heaven. How he will come through without a burn on him. Trump is God's new David.
Amazing. What manner of man is this? I've been tried by the fire, and the flames get so hot that I can't see for the smoke and can't see the sky for the smoke in my eyes. Amazing. Thank you.
The Key bought our coffee. Jesse, did you know the jury was not required to come to a unanimous decision to find Trump guilty per Judge Merchan's jury instructions?
I heard about that.
You only needed to have 4 jurors agree to each charge to find him guilty.
Amazing.
What? The only case in history with a guilty conviction without a unanimous decision from a jury of 12. So says the Key.
Yeah, I heard some crazy stuff about it. I don't know how much is true or not, but I definitely heard some craziness. I'm telling you, they want to destroy Trump because he's white, Christian, male, conservative, love America, love God, and they want to destroy him. Trump is in the way of these people totally turning America into a socialist society. That's what they want to do. Look what they've been doing the last almost 4 years now. America is screwed up. They don't care about us. That's why they want to get rid of Trump. Amazing. Thank you.
Falcon Ing bought a coffee. Giving honor to the JLP team. Double honor to Jesse Lee Peterson and the highest honor to our everlasting Father. White heart emoji. Thank you all so much, truly doers of the word.
Thank you. I appreciate your support. Absolutely. Thank you.
Cedar Bear bought a coffee. Trump is an example of what happens when you cater to blacks. Platinum Plan, black jobs, First Step Act, pardoning black criminal rappers, free money for HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. All to have black judges use the justice system against the white man. Sad.
Thank you.
He gives them, and they're never happy.
Why do they call black colleges historic college?
Because in the past they were exclusively for blacks, and then now they're for anybody, but mostly blacks still go. And they want to preserve it for the black people.
I know, but what does that have? I don't understand where the history thing come in.
Because in the past, white colleges were white, and black colleges were black.
And so are white colleges called historic too?
No, they don't call them historically white colleges.
Why not?
They should, huh?
Yeah, I mean, if they call a black college historic because it used to be black, right?
Right.
And then a white college used to be white, all white.
Yep.
Why don't they call that historic to white college?
That's a fair question. I have no idea.
Maybe.
I mean, I do have an idea. They don't want to acknowledge the whites. They don't want to acknowledge that the whites were what made the colleges desirable.
So do the white people need them to approve them calling it a historic white college? They need somebody to approve it.
To approve it or prove it?
Approve it. When you say they don't like the white, so that's why they don't call it that.
Uh-huh.
Do the white need them to like them in order for them to call it, for the whites to call it historic college?
No.
So why do they care if they don't like them or not?
No, I'm saying nobody calls them historically white colleges.
But why
that
don't,
I know of.
But why
Maybe
don't
some
white
whites
people?
do.
Why don't white people call it historic?
That's a good question / suggestion. I forget whether it was a question or a suggestion. Or a point. Great
Amazing.
point. No, there's a question.
Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee on, is it easier to accept you're a sinner or all your sins have been wiped away?
Yes.
Before I forgave, it was easier to say I was a sinner. After I forgave, it is way easier to accept my sins have been washed away.
Nice. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. You're going to be surprised what you got to see when your mind become clear. Really. Anyone that's living in their imagination cannot see, period. Stay with it. Amazing. Thank you.
Over on Rumble, Urinal Chill's monthly supporter, Jesse Lee Peterson Rumble, establishment Republicans, trying to be nice like the false perception of Jesus that we've all been taught.
Yeah.
So true, man.
Yeah, that is. It's a shame. But thank you. You're absolutely right.
Canadian David, also a subscriber on Rumble, paying monthly. Trump receives the furious fist of animus. There's a lot of anti-white, anti-Trump animus.
Don't be so animus, Hake.
Animated.
Oh.
Animus is not like an adjective, it's a noun.
Oh.
It's me, Xenia.
Thank you.
It says, Joel looked like he's going to cry.
Cry, cry, baby. Amazing. Thank you.
On Buy Me a Coffee, the key says, Jesse, it's interesting to note that John was put on the island of Patmos by the enemies of God. You know, the guy who wrote some books in the Bible?
Right.
John, when he wrote Revelations. In the same way, the enemies of God want to put Trump on Rikers Island for his sentencing. The biblical parallels are undeniable. Those 5 black New York appellate judges represent the women in the basket, wickedness in Revelation. This is a spiritual assault against truth, and we know how this story ends.
I sure hope that, well, I don't hope, but I hope that for the sake of communication, that Donald Trump doesn't, during the appeal, he doesn't have to go before those 5 black judges. It's over. You know, Trump might as well walk in there. I'm here, put me in jail. Amazing. Thank you.
It's me, Xenia asks, when's the White History Month shirt coming out? Triple question mark.
I think the Anchor Baby's working on it now. We'll let you know. It is time to really get on them, so thank you.
The key coffee, biblical question answer.
Are emotions necessary?
Emotions are necessary for evil to keep rank in Satan's kingdom.
Amazing. So that they are necessary?
He's saying that he or she is saying that they are.
Thank you.
But for evil to keep rank in Satan's kingdom.
I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you for that. Let me take a break.
Okay.
Thank you for your super
Treasure
chat.
chest is opening.
Treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment to your phone calls. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, welcome back. 888-775-3773. The anchor baby says that he does not have definite information on White History Shirt yet. We will get it, though, and let you know, all right? Thank you for reminding us. Number one, the Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour. The Hake Report at 9 a.m., from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the brand new episode of the FallenState.tv. A very, especially how he started the hospital situation. It just shows to show you can do what you want, but you got to live your life and not be concerned about anybody else's life, period, if you want to do that. Very interesting discussion with Ed Clay, and he founded this hospital. I'm like, what the? Ed Clay is an entrepreneur, former MMA fighter, and the host of the Ed Clay Show. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
What motivated you to become an entrepreneur? What kept you going?
Focusing on giving to others and helping others has been like the driving force.
Did you imagine one day you will own a hospital?
No way. Even when we were going through the tough times, I never thought we were going to fail. There's like no way.
Right on.
People get depressed and those type of things because they focus on themselves. But when you're outward focused and focus on helping other people, a lot of that goes away.
Amazing. You want to hear this show, especially you want to hear it. You want to watch it. The FallenState.tv at 12 noon Pacific time. And donate to the Fallen State by going to thefallenState.tv/donate or locals.com. One interesting thing he said that blew my mind is that his mother developed some type of cancer or something, I believe he said. And she needed some stem cell stuff, and they couldn't find it. And so there was a hospital that went out of business down in Mexico. And he went and bought the hospital and rehired the whole staff, or most of the staff, and they started the hospital back up again. He did, and I think he had investment partners too. And they started up again, and now it's like one of the leading stem cell hospitals around. And you're going to hear that story. It was an amazing story. What y'all don't know, most people don't know, is that you came to this earth with everything you need inside of you. Really. And there's not one human being that can stop you when you start living you. When you start being you, living you, can't nobody stop you. Now, you're going to have a bunch of people trying to stop you because they're jealous, they're envious, and they're of evil, and they don't want to see you move forward in life. So you're going to have that, just as Trump is dealing with right now, right? But if you really, really, really know you from within, no one can stop you. You wouldn't even think about people. You wouldn't even think about it. But, so check out the Father State at 12 noon. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby is a smart guy, a genius. Energy given to him by God. At 4 p.m. today, he's flying like the Trump airplane. But it's not the Trump airplane, it reminds you of that. At 4 p.m. today, the American Anchor Baby. And I'm sure I think you're going to be hearing more about the Trump thing from all these guys today. And podcast JLP Fri TV. He's here from Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday. JLP Fri TV. Check it out. Amazing stuff on there as well. Good stuff. We got more guys that are going to be a part of our network. We're building a 24-hour network. So thank you all. Just with guys only, all right? Thank you. I want to, did we have one left? Okay, one last. But now, Super Chats.
Over on buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, Sion C3 Coffees.
Hey, Sion.
The country is finished. Life is becoming impossible in America. Can't even buy a car without it being overpriced, ridiculous mandate. America is just going to be another struggling country without Donald Trump. None of these talkative Republicans are going to be doing anything against these vultures.
Yeah.
I felt the same as Hassan Yeezy. Corrupt America, worse than mommy Africa. Communist America is coming up. The justice system is disgusting.
Yeah. Amazing. It's a mess, Sion. My country is gone, but you can have peace in spite of. But you're right. They had elections, and thank you, Sion. They had elections in South Africa yesterday, right?
Yeah, they were. I think they did.
And they were expecting a mess over there.
Yep.
We got to interview someone. I want to interview someone that can update about that. Update us about what happened in South Africa yesterday. They had an election over there, and some people were predicting there's going to be almost like a civil war over there.
Well, shout out to Severio Jones, Potleaf, Cactus Eater Bear, Henry Ford Lives, Aries One, and the rest of the supporters on the D-Live crew. Thanks as always.
Amazing. Nice shirt that Hake has on there. You can get it on rebuildingtheman.com/store.
Rebuildingtheman.com/stores. And let me tell you where to find it. When I go over there, I go to JLP Spreadshirt or Printify, probably Printify, but it is on, I think it's on Printify. Indeed, it's on Printify, the Printify link.
Nice. Check it out. And thank you for your super chats. I absolutely appreciate it. Let me get to the busy phone. Elliott is out of Tennessee. Elliott, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
How you doing?
All is well.
Why Trump acting like he black?
What do you mean?
He's complaining now. He blaming everybody else for what he's going through. He even begging
He a billionaire. He begging for people to send him money to help him pay these fines and help him get out of this stuff. He acting like he black. He's supposed to just be like, man, don't worry about this stuff, folks. They just lying. I'm just gonna pay this shit off. It ain't nothing to me.
Don't be
Just vote
cursing.
for me. You know what I'm saying? But he acting like he black, man. He just blaming and doing all this stuff. What's wrong with the white people now? Trying to act like they black, want to blame everybody else and want to blame the blacks for their problem.
Well,
Come
I don't
on,
know.
man.
I don't know if he's.
What's wrong with the whites?
I don't know.
He got all this money and power,
hello,
bro.
Elliott.
Yeah, what's wrong with him?
I don't know if he's not raising money to pay the court fees. He's raising money for the campaign.
No, he ain't. He's selling shoes and raising money to help him pay that $84 million that he had to pay that later, whatever he had to pay. He raising money for all this court fines.
And where you get that from? That he's doing it for that reason?
Because he said it.
He said,
That's
"I'm
what all these
raising
people-
money."
All these people donated. All these people
He
donated
said
for this.
he
Get 'em out
said
of
that he
trouble.
was raising money to pay for the court stuff.
Yep.
When did he say that?
He said that he thought after when all the trials popped up, that's when he started selling the Bibles. And
No,
everything.
where did he say I'm
selling-
raising money for the campaign?
So you saying he's selling shoes
I mean,
and Bibles
for-
to help the campaign? He's selling shoes and Bibles for the campaign.
Elliott, when did you hear? When did you hear Donald Trump say that he was raising money to pay for the court stuff?
When he started selling them shoes.
No, I said, where did he say that? You said he said it. When and where did he say it?
Now he ain't say it personally, but you know that's what it's about.
Well, why
He
did you
started
say
selling-
it? Why did
he
you
started
say
selling
he?
Bibles?
Why did you say
started
he?
selling Bibles because they ain't stupid.
Elliott, why did you say he said it when he did not say it?
Because just like you said, he said that he a man of God. He never said that either.
Elliott, where did you? Why did you say he said it when he did
When
not
did
say
he
it?
say he was a Christian? When have he said he was a
Elliott,
Christian?
thanks for your call. 888-775-3773. Let me go to first time caller William. Thank you, Elliott. Let me go to first time call William out of North Carolina. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, I'm really thankful to be on there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey, I hope all's well.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm a new follower of your channel. I just started listening probably about 2.5 weeks ago, and in all honesty, like I've never voted. I have never had really a political background in any way because I just kind of saw how it brought down just a lot of people in my family when things didn't go their way. But as of lately, I've kind of been listening to your show and then another guy by the name of Charlie Kirk. And it's just kind of started to open my eyes on a lot of things. And, I've definitely had my fair share of, I know it's going to sound crazy because, I'm a white male, right? But I've had my fair share of racism. And I just want to thank you for standing up for white people. I think that's something that if I do it, if you're white and you do it, you're racist. But I think to have you do it and create White History Month and everything, I think that's just a great thing.
Well, I'm not standing up for white people. I'm standing up for what is right. And I'm trying to encourage white people, and all people really, but I'm trying to encourage white people not to have fear because this is, or at least one time, was the greatest country on this side of heaven, and it was founded by white men. And with the help of God, they were able to create the greatest country on this side of heaven. And it should not be that white men, especially white men, will have fear and just let other people just destroy the country without even speaking up about it.
Absolutely.
I don't know how true it is, but I saw a white woman, Joel showed it to me, I think Joel showed it to me, a white woman kissing the feet of blacks on the street. I saw that during the Black Lives Matter thing, and according to Joel Fri TV, he was telling me that it's still, that there are some white people who are still doing that.
Oh, I believe it. My dad's ex-wife basically my dad was raised by a single mother, was born in Jackson, Mississippi, and worked his way up to be a director of a really high-level company. And his ex-wife would say that he's white privileged. And I'm just like, when you just hear the mindsets like that, and I've had people say it to me too, that we're working the exact same job, we're making the same amount of money, and then they've got the nerve to say I'm white privileged. I'm like, we have the same privilege. We're both doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy to me. Same credential, relatively similar credentials.
Do you believe racism exists?
I believe it's been created. It definitely does exist. I wish it didn't.
You
but
believe
it's one of those
that?
things where,
You believe that it does exist? You say?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, but I think it exists because people feed into it. It's like anything.
And where's your proof? Because of time, William, where's your proof that racism exists?
Well, just people saying the things they say about other people. I guess by definition, racism is. And sorry if there's a little pause. I'm driving right now as well.
Oh, okay.
Racism is one of those things where I guess by definition they say, it's to deem one race more superior to another. And it happens, and you hear people do it from all walks of life. I mean, like, for instance, if I say I want to be a rapper and I'm white, right, which once upon a time, when I was a younger kid, I said that, and basically all the white people around me said, well, you can't do that because you're white. And that's kind of a racist statement, And
but let me just say this. Racism does not exist. It's a made-up lie. It's a made-up word in order to divide and conquer.
I agree.
But there is no such thing as racism. It doesn't exist, never has existed, never will exist, cannot exist. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It is a warfare between good and evil. And you have people who have not had a change of heart. Their hearts are angry. Their hearts are evil. And they are trying to destroy good, those who have changed. But so the word racism is just a made-up word. God said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but spirits and principalities in wicked place. So no such thing as racism.
I agree with that. No, I definitely agree that it was, in the way you said it, I couldn't say any better.
Yeah. And the reason I want to make that clear, because those who have had a change of heart from anger to love, they got to stop speaking as the children of the devil. That's what the evil people say. They don't let you know, they don't want you to know that evil is working through them. And so they make up other words to cover up evil, like racism and sexism and homophobism and Allahu Akbarism and white supremacism. They make up words to cover up evil. But when you can see within yourself and within others that is evil, then you can overcome evil. You can defeat it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just to preface that too, I mean, in my life, racism hasn't existed, at least on my end, if you know what I mean. Like, I have never looked at people and said they're less than or this or that because they're race. I mean,
yeah.
I went to elementary school at an international school. We had 50 different nationalities. So people with all different religions, all different skin colors from all over the world. And everybody was really accepting of each other, And it just seems like that's kind of, at least in the United States, I'm not going to say it's gone away, but it definitely seems like a lot of people are very kind of in their own lane. So.
Because they are allowing themselves to be divided and destroyed by evil. They have not overcome the evil in their own hearts, and they'll listen to other evil people, and they don't realize. And that's why God said we cannot trust an angry person, because whether it's male or female, an angry person is evil and should not and cannot be trusted. I was born in Alabama under the Jim Crow law, so-called Jim Crow law, and growing up, I never heard the word racism until the so-called civil rights movement came along, and that was one of the worst things other than abortion that ever happened to the blacks was the civil rights movement.
You're going to laugh at this, Jesse. I was born in Mobile, Alabama.
Right on.
And it was that, to me, Alabama gets a bad rap, but I'm in North Carolina now. I see much more people, doing some of the things they say, oh, Alabama's a terrible place. Alabama was a beautiful place. I
Yes.
honestly missed it.
Absolutely.
If I could go back, I would.
Yeah.
It was an amazing place. I grew up on the Mobile Bay in a little area called Spanish Fort.
Right on.
So,
Nice. William, call me again. I'm running out of time, and I want to try to get you some more calls.
Sorry about that, Jeff. I really appreciate you bringing me on, and I appreciate everything you do. And I learn so much every time I listen. So thank you and your whole team for everything you guys do.
Absolutely. Call me again. I appreciate you.
Will do. Thanks a lot.
All
Have
right.
a great weekend.
You too. 888-775-3773. Dr. Jake, a first-time caller out of Illinois. Dr. Jake, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Can you hear me, Jesse?
Yes, sir.
I think you and I were separated at birth.
Amazing.
Because you and I come from the same era, and I grew up on the south side of Chicago. Every school I went to, because I went to nursery school because both of my parents worked because we weren't rich.
Right.
Every school I went to was different colored people, and I didn't think anything of it, and my parents never mentioned it. And downstairs from us was a Mexican man and a Puerto Rican woman. And it was just the way that things were.
Yeah.
And across the street from the house, a black couple owned a little grocery store. So when you didn't go to the big grocery store, you just needed bread and milk, we'd go over there and buy it.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. And then all this craziness comes about. And in 1968, I was in high school, and there was a race riot. It was insane. There was I'm thinking it was 2,500 kids in the school.
Yeah.
All these kids running through the quad to get away from bottles and bricks. It was insane. And then they burned down part of the city. And when I look out my window right now, Jesse, I don't see a beautiful Chicago. I see a city in decline, run by, I hate to say it, but biased black politicians. And the man that's currently the mayor of Chicago, well, before that, you know Lori Lightfoot.
Oh,
right?
What a mess.
What a mess. You're right, brother. Lori Lightfoot, in the middle of the night, went to the neighborhood called Little Italy and took down Columbus statue. And she took down the Columbus statue in the big park, Grant Park, downtown, in the middle of the night.
So she went there and did it herself?
No, she had the city crews, but she authorized them to go do that. And then she started changing the name of streets to black people names.
And was that in the local news there or something?
Oh, I'm sure it was, because you've been to Chicago before, right?
I know Chicago is a mess, and Chicago is never going to get better as long as black run it. It's never going to get better.
Well, and I also was a cop for 10 years. And I have seen some crazy stuff. And what a lot of people don't know, and I think it's critical, and I don't mean to take up too much time, but I tend to yak a lot. But nonetheless, we got all this mess going on here, and people don't realize that the mayor is completely compromised in his bias. So he doesn't serve me. He serves his own agenda. And recently, a black dude shot at the Chicago police, and they shot and killed him, but one of the officers got shot in the exchange. And when the mayor came on, what he said was, I hate to say this, but another black man was killed by the police. And then he says, and one of the police officers was shot, so we almost lost another black man. Not another cop, but another black man. And I thought, this is a yeah. What the?
What the?
Exactly, brother. And it's like, I'm going to move out of the city because I can't take it.
Yeah.
I feel the vibrations. I happen to have a doctorate degree in metaphysical psychology, and I'm an ordained metaphysical minister. So I do chaplain work for free.
Well, it's not gonna, as long as the blacks are running it, it's not gonna get better. So you really don't have any other choice for now but to move out, because it's gonna only get worse and not better. And I really, Dr. Jake, call me again. I'm running out of time. We're gonna be cut off in a minute. Call me again.
Okay, brother. Good talking to you.
You too. I am so out of time. The Hake Report is coming up now. TheHakeReport.com, and then the FallenState.tv at 12 Pacific time, and then at 4 p.m. Pacific time, the American Anchor Baby. And I'll see you on Sunday at Fellowship at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Doors open at 10:30. 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. I think it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com/church. Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern time, rebuildingtheman.com/church. All right. And thank you all for your support. Amazing Friday. I knew it was going to be about Trump. The Great White Hope. Don't worry about Trump. You're going to be fine. Really. He knows what he's dealing with, and he knows how to deal with it. Learn from him. Don't overreact. Forgive and deal. Don't overreact. Rick out of Virginia. I think it's Hampton too. Rick out of Virginia. KT out of D.C. And the call is just coming in. And those that are dropping, get on a straight and narrow path and stay there. Stay. Stay there. You're going to be stunned at what you're going to find. Do the silent prayer. Forgive your mother. All human beings, not one. All must forgive their mother and return to their father if you want peace on earth within yourself. All right? Take care. Thank you all for everything, your support and super chats and everything. Amazing. The Hake Report coming up now. Bye. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And there, when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.